Hello, everybody. What's going on? Welcome in. How's it going? What's up, Ham? Welcome in. David Huffman, how have you been doing? And Oshik, welcome in. Yeah, what's going on? I'll get started here in just a second. Okay. What is this ping? Indie Game Joe server ping. Okay. Anyways. So yeah, we're gonna work more and lure in today. It is the final day. Yo, let's freaking go. Thank you so much for the bits. I really appreciate it. I don't have epic things set up for bits yet, but we'll do the confetti. It's fine. Thank you very much. Been doing some work in my game. Nice. Nah, it's looking way better. I saw the image that you posted on the Discord. I thought that was a big improvement already. So, I would say keep at it. I think you're getting there. Yeah, you added in like the little blades of grass and changed the blobs to be rounded. I feel like it just fits so much better in with all the other assets that you have going on. You've got like the little indent area, which I think is neat. Oh yeah, I also saw you did like the edge of the grass and stuff. That looks a lot better. Doing like the darker colors on the edges kind of like makes the block feel more like rounded, which is good for grass because you want to like imply that it's like soft, all right? So added the grass to the floor, poison mushrooms, and then traps. Yeah. Oh, that looks pretty good. Grass trap is great. Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Yeah, and art is one of those things I always say is like, you know, no need to rush, right? So, oh, you just put it in art? Oh yeah, let's see, you got a new one in here. Ooh, let's go. Yeah. Yeah, I like how you did redid some of these, oh, those are like the poison mushrooms, yeah. Very cool. Some spike traps. Nice. Ugh. Yeah, that's pretty epic. Hold on, guys. Sorry. You guys probably want to actually like see what I'm looking at. You gotta do the trees. Yeah. Like I was just saying, oh, you did have outlines on the trees. Did I miss that before? Oh no, you added that in. Okay. Cool. But yeah, like art is one of those things for me where it's like just over time as I build the game, I just slowly tweak things, you know, and that's completely fine. So no need to like rush. Don't ever feel like you're it's not good enough. You're not improving it enough, because I think it's just one of those things where you have to just chip away slowly at it. So but yeah, definitely looking pretty good though. You change that rock, unless that's just another variation of that rock in your pack. Yeah, pretty solid. I'll probably add a little outline on the left side of your traps here if you're doing like the top right lighting, but depends on where you're going for. Right now, looking at these, I see like straight down lighting, which is fine. He's got some work to do. Next fest tomorrow. Yeah, we got to get going. Oh no, my analytics are exposed. Just looking at this. It's been a while since I made a short. It's been hard to do everything at the same time. I kind of took a little bit of a mini break from posting the shorts, so it's been about a week. It's fine. I just needed a little break this week. I had so much stuff going on. I needed to get ready for next fest. But that's okay. We'll go back to it soon. Yeah, that's when it's done. Gotta add the lighting. Yeah. Oh, it's all good. Browse features. That's interesting. That's how people usually find it. Or browse features. What is? Oh, that's like from the homepage. Never mind. Yeah, that makes sense. Concurrent viewers. Interesting. Anyways, no revenue. Maybe one day. I really want to get monetized, but it's just the thresholds are so crazy, you know? Because you got to get 10 million short views, or 4,000 public watch hours over the past year. So that one's like a lot more feasible, I feel like, than the short views, because you only get 90 days for the short views. And you need 10 million, so you've got to have a lot of views, really, a lot of shorts really explode. This one is like feasible, I feel like. If I have like one solid full-length video, then that'll accrue watch hours for a year, right? So I think that would be the play to get monetization. I wouldn't really make very much money, I'm sure. I'd make like $2 probably, but you know, still it'd be cool. Man, imagine one day getting the silver play button. That'd be crazy. Anyways. Gotta start somewhere. Yeah. Maybe one day we'll get there. Monetization. I do have like the membership set up and stuff. Recently. I didn't set up to do any like you know, crazy rewards on this just because I don't. Whenever I've done stuff like this in the past with Ko-fi or whatever, it's too much work to do to offer up a bunch of rewards, because like it's just not worth my time. If I was making like $500 a month or something on a thing like Ko-fi, then absolutely it would be fine. But like when it's just like one random guy for a month, that's like $5. It's too much work. I can't do it. So it's okay. Usually the way people really make a lot of money with stuff like that, like with Patreon or Ko-fi, is that they paywall their content, you know? So they're like, if you want to get my epic Minecraft mod, you have to pay me $20 a month on Patreon. And that's how they make a bunch of money. You know, like for example, like Sue Shaders, he's got a Patreon where you can get access to some of his like crazy ray tracing stuff. And that's why he's making $2,000 a month. And also like Patreon exclusive Discord servers and whatnot. So I'm not going to do that. Be access to get updates. I know that with this you can get access to some of his mods or his shaders. But yeah, anyways. Yo, Wolfman 2 sucks. More pixel art. Yeah, we're just looking at what Ham has done on their game. It's looking pretty good. I probably won't be doing very much art myself today, but yeah. Oh yeah, you added the grass. See, you know, something that's funny about you adding the grass down here, I honestly didn't realize that this was grass down here before. I thought this was just like a rocky floor. So it's actually good that you did that, because I think it's kind of, it's a good idea to imply to your players what material they're on. So just visually speaking. So yeah, that's good. Good that you did that. Do you have a Patreon? I do not have Patreon because they take like a massive cut out of people's money, so it's a little problematic. I do have Ko-fi set up, I think. I honestly haven't logged on to Ko-fi in quite some time. Let me get in there and see what's going on. Hold on, I gotta set up my two-factor authentication. So, where is it? It's been a long time. All right. Please confirm your location. Pretty sure I've already done that, but I'll do it again. Update. Oh boy. Update your business information. Is this gonna be like a big thing I have to do right now? I hope not. Am I gonna have to like go through and like put in my social security number and we'll see. Anyways, let's see what else is in here. My like Twitch subs suck. I refuse to Twitch sub to anyone unless I get gifted, which you'd be surprised. But if I'm gonna donate, oh well, you don't have to donate. Don't worry about it. Oh what? I have to scan. No, I have to take a picture of my driver's license. Oh my goodness. Can I just skip for now? Just digital. What is this? I don't need to do sales tax. Not right now. I can't submit until. Oh, can I just put in my social security number? No, I have to do my frickin'. Yeah, I'll do it later. That's annoying. But anyways. Like a billion notifications. Okay. But here's my Ko-fi. Honestly though, if anyone really does want to support me the way that I would prefer, I think the best way is to buy my games. That's better. Buy my game and leave a review is the superior way. So either Starground or Lured In. So don't bother with my Ko-fi because at least then you also get something out of it. So it's better. But I do appreciate it. Anyways, I'm gonna replace the yellow stuff for flowers. Yeah. No, that's totally fair. Yeah, I think that would probably be better, in my opinion. I think like, yeah, I don't really know like what this stuff is. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like splotches. I think in the art that you showed as an example, I think the implication is that it's supposed to be like fallen leaves on the ground. Just because there's like trees and stuff around. But like, this isn't like fall time in your area, so I don't know what these would like be. It could just be like a stylistic thing they decided to do, but yeah, I don't know. Anyways. Stargaz's my most played demo game. Oh, let's go. Very stingy about buying games, but it's #1 on my buy list. Epic. I appreciate it. Yeah, Starground still does need a lot of work, but tree's gonna be changed, so we'll see if flowers better. Yeah. Just our DM, reply after stream so it doesn't distract you. Oh, feel free to reply it now. I have like streamer mode on, so I'm not gonna get like pinged until I actually go and look at it. So just DM me whenever. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So let's actually do stuff now. So let's see. Ugh. Do Lured In. Yeah. It's time. So I'll show you some of the things I worked on last night, guys, because, yeah. Crazy. Loading up the engine. Loading up the game. Engine's already loaded. Yeah, Next Fest is going to be crazy. It's been a long time since I've done Next Fest, so I kind of almost like forget, like, I don't know how to do it. It's pretty easy though. I mean, really, there's not like a lot that you do in Next Fest. Like, most of the work that goes into it is just the time before Next Fest, like getting your game prepared for it. So I don't think it's gonna be like hard or anything. It's not like I'm gonna be like, oh man, I have to work so hard during Next Fest. But That's why we do the word now. So something that I did last night is I did some research stuff. So I added in some new researches in here. First off, I moved the Fishpedia and made it significantly cheaper. Because it's one of those things where it's like, why is the Fishpedia so expensive? I want people to start knowing what fish they can catch immediately instead of like way later in the game. Because then at that point, you've already like gone through a lot of the zones and there's no reason anymore. So I made that a lot cheaper. I also added this new research, field reports, and this is basically a way for you to see more information on fish that you haven't caught yet. So if you go into your inventory and click on a locked fish, with that research, it shows you the catch rate and also like the tool you have to use to catch the fish. So it's just kind of like a nice little thing like that. Now I can be like, oh, yeah, I get this guy with the pot. So if there's like a specific fish that you're trying to find, it's helpful for that. Because you can be like, oh man, I have no idea how to get this guy. And now you get it and it's like, okay, I need to use my rod specifically and it's in the river. Okay. And also just knowing the catch rate and stuff is kind of useful. So, but yeah, otherwise, it's all working. I still never did catch a rare fish when I played. I mean, I have seen people catch more rare fish, I feel like, since I made that change. It's hard, always hard to say, though. Because these guys are 4%. And then those guys are both 4%. These guys are both 6%. So you see, this is the problem. I just need to make the rarity rates, like, better. Because it changes depending on how many fish you have in a region, which is problematic. All right, so I'll probably do that. The decorations add a lot for just like building in here. Yeah, I definitely think so. Just like overall, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I added those in because I was like, man, this place looks so like empty and void of everything, you know. So I was like, well, what if you could just decorate your place? That would be better. I always forget the lava lamps have a slight glow. Sound design in the clips are so satisfying. I appreciate it, yeah. Yeah, sound is something I always like to pay attention to a little bit, you know. It's a lot more important than I think people realize. Because just all those little, like, especially UI sounds is like something that's always forgotten about. But it really helps you as a player, like, know when you're, like, doing something. So, I don't know, just like scrolling through or clicking on buttons, it just makes it feel so much more cool. And like placing down stuff too, I added in that new sound for placing, which I think sounds a lot better than what we had before. But now it does like a, you know, like a little thud, like you're dropping the item down. I don't know, it's just fun. I think sound design stuff like that is always really cool to explore and mess with. So I've always enjoyed doing it. I always usually go the route of like realistic sounds in my games. Like some people do like 8-bit sounds, you know, like little like noise and sine waves and stuff. And I think those can be okay. But personally, I think my favorite kind of sound design is just like real sounds. Because like there's nothing wrong with 8-bit sounds, but you know, you don't get like a very clear idea of what the sound is trying to do. Like, I get why they used to do those sounds. It's because they couldn't store like full recorded audio clips in their cartridges because the audio was too big. But that's not a limitation anymore. So there's kind of no, in my opinion, no reason to do that. So, but, you know, just depends on the artistic vision that somebody wants to achieve. What are your thoughts on no-code engines? Yeah, stuff with like buttons and like visual programming. I've done visual programming in the past with like GameMaker and using like the buttons and that and stuff before, and not to be negative, but I just think they're extremely limiting. Like initially when you're starting out with your game and just doing a couple little simple things, it's very easy. You know, you're like, whoa, plop this button down and connect this over here, and now my guy can move around. It feels like it's, you know. But when you get into like much later into development and you have a more complete game and you're trying to like, you know, tackle things that are more technically complicated and like all these little tiny, like also like interfacing with your OS, and I mean, I just think it eventually for me always hits a point where it becomes such a detriment to have to wrangle all my nodes around that I just can't. Like, I think it could be okay for like prototyping little stuff, but personally, for me, I can't do it. It's too much. It gets too messy, and I can't understand where any of my code is, and it's just a nightmare. So I really like the speed of regular programming, you know, and like it is harder for people to understand regular programming and start using it, but it is, I think, a lot more versatile and scales much better. And there's nothing wrong with doing visual programming stuff or like no code engines, but it's hard. And I imagine like stuff like Sandbox and probably like there's a lot of things like that let you do that stuff. It feels more physical, I guess. Yeah, for sure. Like sound makes it feel like it's like real, you know, like you're actually like doing something. It's more tangible, more like immersive. There's a lot of reasons to use sound. Sound is cool because like it not only makes everything just like feel and atmospherically wise better, but also it's like a super valuable tool to indicate information to the player also. Because like you could imply certain things depending on whether you use like a positive sounding note or like something more negative sounding, like a negative like descending minor key. So, you know, for example, like when you catch a fish or whatever, it does a little ding ding. That's just such a like a, I've reinforced that as like the sound of something important to pay attention to. So now it's like a good little like, hold on. It goes like, doo doo. Oh, I got a rare fish. But just stuff like that is really helpful to indicate to the player like if there's something they need to pay attention to, and also what does the thing mean? Is it a good thing that they need to pay attention to or a bad thing and stuff like that? It's just a good thing to learn and use, I think. Lurden started out being pretty silent, you know, I wasn't focusing on audio, at least initially, but I've definitely spent a lot of time going through and redoing a lot of it and stuff. It would be cool if you could expand your little room. I definitely want to do that eventually, and very soon, actually. Now, there's no more eventually anymore. Now it's like soon, very shortly, in the next month. But yeah, some of the plans for right after Next Fest is over. We're gonna start immediately, nose to the grindstone, start grinding out stuff for the next big content update for full launch. I mean, that's the next big content update. Stuff I want to do for that is being able to like expand your aquarium. I want to add in a couple new zones that you can travel to, more research, more ascension, more upgrades. There's a lot of things I want to tackle. Also, speaking of tackles, rod tackles, lures specifically, I want to add that in as a mechanic. So you can like go travel somewhere and click on your little box and click it and then choose what lure you're using. And that'd kind of be like a nice little way to kind of target specific fish, and then also, because I want to add in a bunch of different lures that you can buy and unlock, maybe through research, honestly, would be probably a good way to do that. But just ways to change your fishing goals. So like, you can equip a lure that increases your chance for large fish or something like that, you know, or, you know, all sorts of stuff. So I think it'll be a fun modifier. It'll make you feel more powerful, I think. You're not just always going to be at the mercy of whatever random fish that you catch from the water. It's kind of like you get to shape your fate a little bit more with a lure. And eventually also like bait, I think, could be cool. I don't want to like overcomplicate the mechanics too much for people, right? But I think introducing mechanics like that slowly in steps is the way to go. So as long as it's like all gated behind research and ascension and stuff, it'd probably feel okay. Just enough time to get used to the regular mechanics, and then you start unlocking that stuff, and then realize like, oh man, I can change the whole way I fish now. So, when I was in middle school, I did Scratch, but then Godot because it's so limited. Yeah, that's totally fair. It's sort of, I had the same sort of progression in a lot of ways. Like, I never did visual program with GameMaker. Luckily, I realized that it was very limiting from the very beginning. But even when I started using GML in GameMaker, I really started to run into problems. Like when I was working on Pogo Rocket in 2020, I wanted to do some like OS stuff, you know, like open up a file dialog, and literally just that in GameMaker was an absolute nightmare trying to figure it out. I never got it figured out. I just couldn't do it. There's certain stuff in GameMaker that it just doesn't really let you do. Do we get another user review? Whoa. Oh my god, this guy has so many games. He plays 12 hours? Is this real? That's crazy. Anyways. Godot's best. Yeah, I've really appreciated how freeing Godot is. Like, I can do anything in Godot. And they have that whole class specifically for doing OS stuff, right? Like you can access so many different things. So you can say like OS, like you can run OS alerts, and you can do even like shell commands. You can do shell open. You could do dangerous stuff with it, but it is very, very freeing. If you wanted to, you could like, you wouldn't have the proper permissions to, or the program wouldn't, but you know, like delete system 32 or like run some crazy command. Obviously I would never do that, but you know, you can do literally anything you want with just this one function call, not to mention the million other things inside of OS. That's what I appreciate about Godot. There's just so many functions to help you. GameMaker feels like all this stuff you'd have to like manually build yourself, and that's a little silly. I'm glad that Godot has it all just ready for you. So, yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. Get locale, get name, processor count, and ID. There's so much stuff. You can get system fonts, version, video adapter, driver information. Like, I don't think you could do any of this in GameMaker at all. You know, you'd run into one thing like this and then go down some rabbit hole of reading through the forums, and then some guy's like, yeah, actually, it's impossible to do this, so you're gonna have to find a workaround. Stuff like that is so frustrating with GameMaker. Anyways. Do the characters, I'll read that in just 1 second, 2 seconds. Do the characters move with AI? They do not. Or unless, I don't know what you mean by, see, this is the problem. AI does, well, the way that they work is they use a pathfinding algorithm. Actually, they don't even use a pathfinding algorithm. They use a stupid dummy algorithm that I made. Basically, they shoot out a ray, and they pick a random position in the room. So this guy, let's say he's about to move. He's like, I want to walk over to this point. So he shoots out a ray. He checks, does my ray collide with anything I can't walk through? And if it does, he just gives up and picks another random point and tries to move there instead. The reason I did it that way is because pathfinding is slow. I can have like 100,000 guys in this room. I mean, not 100,000, but you know, a lot of these guys walking around in this room, and it's not going to cause performance issues. Because you can see I'm getting a cool 300 FPS right now. So I specifically set it up to be as performant as possible. Because they don't do like any code processing, really. They just pick a spot, see if they can go there. If they can't, try again. And they just move their position and pretend that they're moving, actually. It's pretty easy. But yeah, no like AI, no logic AI. They're not that smart. Maybe one day in the future, if I like add in like, you know, shop expansions and all that jazz, then I might potentially look at doing pathfinding algorithms like A-star, but I don't think it's necessary. I think I can get around without having to do that. Because these guys don't need to move anywhere. They're just kind of stupid, silly guys. Anyways, let me see what you said here. 2 socks. One of my side projects I'm working on using Codex as my own coding language. Okay. The idea there is to make it super English-like. Like reading it feels like you're just reading a sentence. Interesting, yeah. Reason for me working on it is to finally understand programming, like from the very basic level and going up. Already has this on parser, semantic validation. Hey, yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah, that's really cool. There are like, yeah, it's interesting to see that like kind of trend, I feel like, with programming languages. Like we've started with such like archaic ways of programming, you know, straight up binary or assembly and stuff like that, having to manually select registers. But then now like modern day times moving way higher up in level with something like Python. So yeah, something even above Python in terms of like human readability would be pretty interesting. Yeah. This is pretty much basically Python. It's a little different from Python. GD script. Also, hey, welcome in. While playing around with the menu and lured in, I found that the merchandise upgrade is free after level 40. Oh, yeah? Is that because it just reaches, like, the 64-bit integer limit? Hold on, let's try it out. It says set upgrade. Li dot. Oh, God. Forgot to actually set the level. Let's go to the level 39. Oh? Hold on, what's going on? Dice. Let's go to level 30 and we'll go up from there. Oh yeah, it's because it's getting so enormously big. Yeah, so what's happening there is that the cost of the merchandise research becomes so insanely massive that it goes past the 64-bit integer limit. Yeah, so there's not really much I can do about that other than just implementing a different way to represent numbers inside of the game, which maybe I will explore if I do want to go past that kind of cache. But I think like the maximum like end game like cache values people would ever work with is probably going to be something around like 1 trillion, you know? I don't think anyone's ever going to reach anything close to whatever it is, like 9 quintillion or whatever is the 64-bit integer limit, I think. That's like insane. So it shouldn't be ever possible really to reach that level with normal means. You'd have to I think I calculated it once and it would take you like 5,000 years, assuming you're making like $1 billion a second, which is an enormous amount of money already. So I'm not worried about it. It's just kind of a funny thing you can do if you cheat, but anyways, I do appreciate you pointing it out though. Maybe one day I'll fix it, but let's see. Welcome in. Sup, how long have you been working on this game? I've been working on this since the beginning of the year, kind of around January. Yeah, I've just been grinding it out. It's been going pretty good. Tomorrow is Next Fest, so that's kind of like one of the really big objectives I've been planning for ahead of time, right? Ever since the very beginning, I planned to do this Next Fest. I was like, okay, we're gonna do the June Next Fest. I'm gonna get the game ready for that. Man, 3 Ornata. It's pretty steep. Yeah, we're finally here. Finally about ready for Next Fest, so hopefully things go well. I've been able to fix a lot more bugs and stuff with this update so far. There's really not that many bugs, but you know, any bugs that I can spot. But hopefully everything goes smoothly. Is this game going to be free? It is not going to be free, just because I need money to live. And really, as a game developer, you have 2 options in terms of making money. You either make a free-to-play game and load it with microtransactions and in-app purchases and skins and cosmetics, which I don't want to do, or you charge for your game. And personally, I would rather charge for my game than go free-to-play. Free-to-play has its place, you know, and there are some cool free-to-play games. It is great that free-to-play games are free and anybody can play them, but unless you're willing to, I personally think, sacrifice the quality of your like artistic vision, then it's going to result in, you know, being broke. Unless you're already a massive company and can monetize yourself in other ways, but I'm not. So free to play just doesn't make any sense for me. And I don't want to make my game actively worse, you know. That's kind of bad. We should only fix bugs to avoid messing everything up. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing today, or we will be doing, is like pretty much just like small balance tweaking and bug fixing and stuff, because I don't want to tackle anything today that could potentially cause lots of issues. I'll probably do some little notifications above the tanks. That's what this tank sensors research is that I added for. I think we can achieve that today pretty easily. Now there is, interestingly, somebody mentioned a bug, 2 people actually, where if you go to a place, and supposedly, if I say pot time is 0 a couple times, so if I raise my pot, it's a weird bug. I am not 100% sure how or why it happens, but so if you get a full net and then let a fish go and then pick up your pot, apparently your like keep net duplicates the fish that you have in it, which is a little bit odd. I don't know why that happens. I'm curious to see if it'll happen without releasing a fish, or if it is only caused by releasing a fish. I'm not sure. But I want to test that and see if we can fix it. I do think it's just purely a visual bug, as far as I can tell. But we need to see. Should we get a 3D game after this? I will be working on a 3D game after this, so yeah. 3D's something I really want to kind of get into a bit more, you know. I'm very familiar with 2D, and I can make 2D games pretty easily, but 3D games, you know, whether I like it or not, are much easier to market for people. So I'm getting all sorts of rare fish now. I think maybe I just got really unlucky last time we played through. Whoa, big pike. All right, so what I'm going to do is release my ruds. Then now we have 5 out of 6. So we have 1 rainbow trout, 1 northern pike. We raised the pot. And I was not able to replicate it, at least so far. Unless it's like a jungle, I don't know why it would be. Maybe it's a jungle specific issue, because that's where everybody's reporting it happening on. It'd be pretty weird though. I need some money. Don't tell anyone about these secret commands, guys. These are for my eyes only. I see the anti-aliasing technique you shared in your game. Looks really clean. Oh yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, anti-aliasing is one of those things you do need to be a little bit careful with, because I think it can easily kind of enter the realm of over anti-aliased. Right? Because like, I've seen people attempt to do anti-aliasing, but they do it like everywhere, and it just starts to look really messy. So you don't want to make your game look blurry. So I try and do it pretty minimally, only in spots where like I have a really nasty slope or something. I probably could have used it on like some of these rocks, for example, but I don't think they're necessarily bad because I didn't use them. Yeah, it just depends. Usually with all my art and stuff, it's just sort of feeling it out and seeing what feels good. So, but like some of the icons, I typically anti-alias. If we look at like this guy, it's kind of hard to tell in this menu because it like does some funny stuff with the anti-aliasing with the outline shader I have. I do need to maybe take a look at changing that. Yeah, it's really hard to spot any in here. You can see it though easily inside the Fishpedia. If we look at one of these fish, I added some anti-aliasing on. Like the rudd, you can see a little bit of anti-aliasing on the edges like that, so it works pretty well. Or this is the smallmouth bass, but you get the idea. I think also the rudd has a tiny bit. Yeah, one there and one there. But yeah, just being very deliberate with it and you know, simple with it. I only have a couple pixels here, you know, these two and just around the tail to kind of smooth out that shape. But it can be really helpful if you utilize it properly. It's still like honestly a technique I haven't used a lot before. Lured in is kind of the first time I've explored doing anti-aliasing, so I still need more practice with it to like fully know the best places and times to use it. But I think so far it's been fun messing around with it. It does cause some minor issues with game stuff. Because like, for example, inside of here, when we have outlines with a shader on top of our icons, it means it kind of like messes up the anti-aliasing a little bit, but it's not too bad. Oh, 3D, I'm saying just because it's like I'm not super great at 3D either, but that's part of the reason I want to explore it. It's just, I'm never going to get better at it if I don't ever do it, so. Did I draw all the pixel art myself? I did, yeah. These are all my assets. I draw all my stuff in Krita. I usually recommend drawing stuff inside of a sprite, but, you know, Krita for me works pretty well, so. You know what? I know what this is missing now. Yes. Yes. Fixed it. All right, anyways. Yeah, I drew this last night. This one has a lot more anti-aliasing than some others, and that's, I don't know. I just felt like it. I don't have like any rules, you know, when I draw stuff. It's kind of just whatever I feel like. But you know, the whole reason I did more on this is because it's like angled at like a 45, or it's not a 45, it's like a 15-degree angle. So since it has a lot of like jagged slopes and stuff, that's why I do more anti-aliasing with something like this. If this was just like a flat, straight icon, then I wouldn't do any, obviously, but it just really depends on the sprite, you know? It's the main thing. What are your thoughts about adding a pixelated filter on the water and the water vapor clouds inside of here, like in the jungle, like with this stuff over here? Because I do have, the water is actually pixelized. It's hard to tell with the weather. Hold on. The motion of it and the distortion is not pixelized, but like if you actually do look at the water texture, it is like a pixel texture that I'm using. The waterfall I never did pixelize. I don't know, just didn't do it. I wouldn't be completely opposed to pixelizing the waterfall. I mean, it's kind of like difficult to see it, you know, honestly. You only really see the edge of it at the very bottom, so it's one of those things where it doesn't really matter. But I think before the clouds that appear when you I don't know whether it's cloudy, I did have those pixelized before, but honestly I never really liked sort of how it looked when it was pixelized. I think it was a bit too jarring, so that's why I changed it to be like a smooth texture. This is what a lot of art is, you know. It's like making creative decisions about what you think feels and looks the best. Like, did I break the clouds when I was messing with them? I better go make sure. Oops, I made clouds invisible. That's why we test, guys. They should be visible now. Yeah, now you can see them. Because I kind of wanted to imply that these clouds are like, you know, blurred out because they're like far away up in the sky. So I think it looks, in my opinion, a lot better when they're smooth, since they're such low opacity anyways. But, you know, and someone else might have a different opinion than me. Someone might be like, no, those should be pixel perfect too. But I don't know. I think it's fine. I'm not such a pixel purist when it comes to my art. I think it's okay to have some non-pixel stuff every once in a while, especially when it comes to shaders. Because, like, as long as the base thing you're modifying is pixel art, I think it's fine to do some funny distortion, whatever. Sturgron's art is so clean. I appreciate it, yeah. Use for art. Yeah, what about Starground? No, it's okay. Yeah, I use for most of the art in Starground, I used to use paint.net. But oh yeah, he finally got the domain. It's crazy. You can actually go to paint.net finally. But I stopped using paint.net because I was just getting a little tired of it lacking so many modern art features. You know, even just basic stuff like auto-saving. It doesn't have auto-saving, so if your power goes out or something, you lose everything. It's just stupid. So I decided to move over to Krita, which is an open source drawing program, and it's pretty epic. I've really enjoyed Krita so far. And I think the more I use it, the better I get at using it, so it's been nice. And I've been using Krita now for the art in Starground also, so it's a little bit of Krita art, but mainly paint on it. What does that app use? You're calling to draw your assets. Yeah. Krita is the app. Krita. Yeah, you can just get it for free. You can also buy it on Steam if you want to get like the automatic updates and stuff, but you don't have to. You can just go to krita.com or krita.org and download it. So, pretty cool. This is why open source software is epic, guys. Stuff like Blender. Blender is open source. Krita, OBS is open source, open broadcaster software. It's all epic. All the stuff I use is open source because it's just better. I don't want to have to pay licenses. And the thing is, like, I really do feel like open source software with time just gets better and better and better. Because, like, when you have a private company making software, they are the only person that gets to make decisions about that software. So, like, they might decide to actively make their software worse in the pursuit of revenue. But that doesn't ever happen with open source software. Like, pretty much it's just a continual improvement. It gets better and better and better. Because people that use the software come in and improve it. And there's never going to be sacrificing features in the pursuit of profit. Because it's non-profit. It's open source. Nobody makes any money anyways. So there's no reason to ever make the software worse. It just gets better and better. So that's one strength of open source software, I always feel like, compared to closed source. It's just always improving. Like Blender over time has just gotten better and better and better. Every new update, I'm like, man, this is like so cool now and epic. You know? It used to kind of suck. In the really early days, Blender 2.0, when I was a little kid and trying to learn Blender, it was bad. The UI sucked. It was hard to model. But now it's had so much time to bake and improve and iterate. Blender is like almost industry standard at this point. I mean, movies use Blender, games use Blender, all the stuff. Blender is a completely like valid software option, both for individuals and large companies, which is really cool. So it's been very neat to see it finally get over that hump, you know, of getting into the professional world. So. But yeah. Anyways. Really like this location. I appreciate it. Yeah, I like how it turned out too. It was being like one of the most recent ones. I put a lot of time into it to make it look cool. Hopefully the coral reef will be cool too. We'll see. Mixels can be nasty sometimes. Yeah, I usually try and avoid mixels as much as possible. To me, shaders and stuff and like doing modifications to the base assets isn't really the same thing as mixels, in my opinion. But yeah, having like you know, one sprite at like double pixel scale and the other at a single pixel scale is bad. Sorry, just the hardest pick of all time. 4 of the hardest picks of all time. Yeah. Big bonus points if you can make out what each of these photos are. Anyways. Because, you know, you might have something like this where it's got like double pixel scale and it just looks really bad when paired up with like the other single pixel stuff around it. So don't do mixels. Mixels are bad. That's the one thing I'm usually pretty much always like, yeah, this is bad. It's okay somewhat in UI, I think, because UI is kind of like a separate thing from the game world. But normally I'd say avoid it as much as possible. What about A-Sprite? Yeah, A-Sprite is really good. I mean, A-Sprite, honestly, if you're doing specifically only pixel art, that's the one I always recommend to everybody, right? If you want to do pixel art and get better at pixel art, A-Sprite is the most feature-rich specifically for pixel art, right? They've got, like, brushes and things and little preview windows for animation. Like, it's set up to be the pixel art program. So, I'd recommend it. To be honest, the reason I don't use it, there's a couple really stupid specific reasons. I don't think you can do file system like file dialogues for saving your files and stuff, and that to me was just extremely frustrating because I like the Windows file dialogue. So you know, that's a thing. And like I do so much more than just pixel art when it comes to the art stuff. Like I don't want to have to constantly close Sprite and open up another program. So that's why I use Krita, because it's very versatile compared to Sprite. Like it's not catered to just pixel art. I can do normal drawing with like my drawing tablet, or I can do like graphical stuff, you know, and it's just more versatile. So that's why I use Krita. But otherwise, if you want to do pixel art and get better at it, I think Sprite is probably better for you. But anyways. Let's see, removes. Welcome in. Yeah, corporate introducing AI, subscription AI. Yeah, it's all AI. Wow. None of the open source stuff has AI, thank God. Do you like fishing IRL? It can be pretty fun. Yeah. I've gone fishing a lot. I'm not super crazy about ice fishing because it's boring and cold. But normal fishing is pretty cool. It would really be fun if like someday I could go on like a, you know, a more epic fishing trip. I think one thing, like the only places I've ever been able to fish are just like little local places around where I live. And they're fine or whatever, but you always see the same fish. It's all like trout. It's all rainbow trout. I've only caught a fish that wasn't a rainbow trout like maybe like twice in my whole life. So that's the problem. And it's just because I live in an area that like is not very conducive to fish. Because like we have a lot of, it's dry here, and in most of the lakes that I can fish in, they stock the lakes with new fish, so they always stock it with more rainbow trout. So it's a little disappointing. It'd be really cool one day to like go to a different state and actually, you know, somewhere with more exotic fish would be very neat, but it's expensive. I don't have enough money. Hey, when people make art and it doesn't fully fit what they want, so they just scale it up. Yeah, it's the worst. I always try and usually get pretty close. Like there are some things that I scale. If you look at the NPCs, actually, they all have slightly different scales. Like some guys are slightly taller than the other NPCs. But it's small enough of a difference. You kind of don't really notice the mixeling happening at all. Like these pixels, even though this guy is technically larger than he's supposed to be for his resolution, it's like basically close enough, you know? So there are some cases where I do stuff like that, but I never like draw an asset at like 16 by 16 and upscale it to 32 by 32. The scaling here with your decorations, unfortunately, is mixels, but that's kind of like players' decisions whether they want to have mixels or not. They don't have to do that. So I don't really count that feature. And I'm not going to redraw every asset at double resolution. That's ridiculous. Anyways. I have you to thank for picking Godot. Hey, nice, yeah. No problem. I'm just spreading the good word. I do think Godot is very epic. I do pixel art because I don't have a drawing tablet or anything. Yeah, it's totally fair. I mean, you can get pretty good at drawing normal art without a tablet, honestly. Zach, which is a friend helping with a deadlift, he draws all of his stuff with his mouse. So it's possible. You don't have to have a tablet. You just have to practice and get the hand-to-eye coordination with your mouse better. Krita can do pixel art? Yeah, you can do pretty much anything in Krita. I have some brushes set up for pixel art stuff. I think it comes with a pixel art brush by default, so you can. You just zoom in really close, and it even has like a pixel grid set up if you like the pixel grid. I don't like drawing with the pixel grid because I think it makes it difficult for me to see the object as a whole. So I kind of like just like freehanding it without the grid. But and then there's also like this little grid over here you can enable if you want to see like, you know, quadrants. It's really useful for doing like tile sets and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely mess around with it if you know, you want something more versatile than Sprite. Otherwise, just use Sprite. I think is Krita for mobile? Can't remember. I don't know. No, I don't think so. Maybe. Krita on mobile. Oh, it is. Apparently it costs money. Yeah, so on mobile it costs money, but, you know. That's pretty cool, though, that you can do Krita on mobile. I didn't know that you could. I wonder if it costs money on Apple or the Google Play Store. It's free on Google Play Store, so I don't know how good of an experience Krita would be on mobile, because it's definitely not an app designed for mobile, you know? Not gonna lie. But cool that you can, though. Pretty crazy. Interesting. Anyways. Okay, so let's freaking get down to business. I still can't figure out this bug with the keep net. I really don't know what causes it. I'm trying to replicate it, where I catch fish and then I release one and keep, but I don't know. I'll do the specific region too that happens. I feel like it's more than likely just a visual bug. I don't know for sure. So with the keep net full, I let a fish go and pick up the pot. My computer still has some lag spikes because there's still some file transfer from my drive. So I think that'll be over someday. Fully decorated new area. Yeah, this is been in the game for a little bit now. Yeah, it's all decorated out. The jungle zone. Sorry for spoilers if anyone's like playing the game doesn't want to see this stuff. But, so I wonder if I can. I'm gonna see if I can. I don't think I can raise my pot if I have a full keep net. Shouldn't be able to, really. But we'll see. See what happens. Alright. Gonna left on it. Let's get one more cool fish. I do need to add more fish to the jungle. There, it is a little light on fish right now. Oh, the pool. Put up. Big stupid idiot, guys. Look at that speed bonus. Alright, finally. So, they released a fish. So yeah, I can't raise my pot while my keep net is full. So, if I release a piranha, then raise my keep net. See, I don't know. I'm really not sure, like, how to replicate this issue, right? Because the minute that there's fish inside of the pot, it just doesn't work anymore. I can't pick up any more. So, I don't. Oh, it happened. Oh, it happened. Whoa. And then if I go back into my keep net. Oh, it's fixed. So, well, that tells me immediately that it's just a visual bug. So I think it's going to be pretty easy to fix. It's probably just updating at a time when it's not supposed to. So that's fascinating. Reload my mic. Oh, yeah. Mic reloaded. It's really frustrating how that mic thing happens. I don't know why it does. I don't know what to do about it. Oh, man. Tired. Oh, we double snooze the ads, apparently. That's okay. Okay, so why would that happen? It's like specifically when I'm already like in the menu or something, right? Is it only when my pot is full? Right, so I have a full pot now. I release the piranha and then I pick it up. Boom. Okay, so I have to be inside of my keep net for it to update. I think I understand the issue. So into the keep net menu, we have a function, I believe, for updating the fish in here. Let's go look at this. So keep net menu. So if status, say I only update this stuff when I open it. And then I have update menu here. That updates the weight. And I should only be updating this when I close it. So I must like have some signal connected up or something. Hey, Salty Man, thank you for the follow. What's going on here? I call... So when I call released, I say update menu. So I say you caught. Okay, and then I do all this stuff. So I say add child. Trying to understand how this works. I don't do any of this stuff anymore. I just add the fish panel and I set its ID. So let's get rid of all this now. So when I open the menu, it loops through all the fish and it does all the stuff. But then when I catch a new fish, it immediately duplicates all of my entries for some reason. And that's like the problem we're running into here. So really the issue is that I can get my pot while I'm inside of the menu, right? Hey Saiku, what's up? Welcome in. It's so organized. I suppose so. Some people like really organize their code, and I'm not super great about organizing, but I try where I can. I don't know. Update menu is just gonna call this every time we add a fish. I'm just gonna change this whole thing, I think, a bit. I'm just gonna, instead of doing all of this stuff, I'm just gonna say whenever we call changed, if status, update menu, and I'm gonna put all of this stuff into update menu, right? So first off, I'm gonna clear out everything inside of our keep net, clear it all out, right? And then I'm gonna regenerate the entire list, just to be more safe. And then whenever I press released on a fish, it calls update menu. Let me also make sure that this is set to, I mean, it'll delete the node whenever you press this, so it shouldn't matter. Okay. So this is gonna completely regenerate our whole list of fish now. It's gonna delete all of them and regenerate. So I wonder if I have something funny on here, like I say queue free. I do. Because I do this like a little bit quirky, where I don't update everything immediately. Let me think how I want to do this, right? I'm going to separate this out into two sections. So I'm going to say like function update menu info, and this is just going to be like the stuff at the top, you know, how many fish, how much weight, etc. Nothing much. Finally done with work for the week. What's up with you? Nice. Yeah, I'm just getting Lurden prepared for Next Fest tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow. So, but it's coming along. I'm just fixing a couple bugs. Quality of life and bug fixing. No new big features or content because I don't want to introduce a bug for Next Fest, which would be very bad if everybody ran into bugs. I had to make sure that first impression is good. But yeah, it's going good though. Okay, and I'm going to call this function specifically refresh list, right? So whenever I open it, I want to say refresh list, and also update menu. In this one, it says saying update menu. I want to do update menu info. That's like the real thing. So I'm hoping that this will all work now. And we still have to fix the issue of the nodes not regenerating. So whenever we click on the pot button or catch new fish, that's when I need to set it up properly. So I don't have, like, where do I figure out the caught fish? So we have the keep net panel here, which I guess I just called panel. I should have renamed that. Where it'll just say global caught fish minus amount whenever you press released. So, and then I also subtract from actual add fish. So I think what I want to say is whenever a fish has been added, we do have inventory changed, so I could connect that up to... But I only want to update this menu whenever we've added a fish and not removed a fish, because I don't want any lag when you press the release fish button. I don't think it would, honestly, but if you've caught a lot of fish or have a massive keep net, there could potentially be a tiny little spike. So I want to do like only when you catch a fish. I don't know if we have a signal for that set up yet, but I can add one. Let's check all of our signals to make sure we don't already have it. Decorations changed, tutorial stage changed. Tank fish removed, added, settings changed. Food boost stuff. Saving finished. Upgrade purchased, research ascension. Language changed. Fish found is different from a fish caught. Weather change, region changed. Input type changed, inventory changed. Tutorial stage changed. X button side changed. Okay, so we don't have a signal for that, which is fine. I just needed to make sure that I'm not duplicating. So we're going to go to our caught fish array and just add another signal here. Signal fish caught. And I'm going to specify this is emitted whenever a fish is caught. All right, so now what we're going to do, which hopefully should fix this bug, we're going to go to the keep net menu and just say function ready, call super, and say global dot fish caught dot connect, refresh our list. And that should hopefully work. Hey, Woolbed, welcome in. So we're just working on fixing a bug right now where if you bring in your pot after you've already had like a full keep net, for some reason it just like duplicates all of the nodes. So we're just getting all that fixed right now. Welcome in, Zafencer. How's it going? Okay, then we just need to emit this signal also whenever we actually do catch a fish. So I'm going to do this inside of the code for our fishing region whenever I like add the fish into our inventory. So right here, fish success. We've got all this stuff, update weight, and I'm just going to call it right here, emit. All right. And I might potentially also emit the fish ID we actually caught. It would just make sense. Just in case I want to use that for some reason. Which does mean now back in here, I'm going to have to like remove that from the signal connection. Because I can't call refresh list if it doesn't pass in. Right. So I have to say, whenever this happens, I just do this. And I create like a little empty variable and then just pass it to nothing like that. All right. So I'm hoping that this will fix it now. So if I get out of my keep net, it should update. Yep. Let's release some of my fish. Drop the pot. I should probably restart the game. I'm gonna break everything if I don't. All right, we got an ad in 15 seconds, guys. I apologize. We have no more snooze credits. Okay. Here we go. Time to test it out. Let's make sure this works. Let's drop our pot. Let's catch a couple fish. Come on. Come on. Just to help us. That should be a little faster. Here we go. Come on, Arapaima. I love when my computer lags out. It's very cool. All right. Dang. Yeah, my computer is really lagging. I might need to potentially just stop my backup temporarily. It's really odd, but whenever my external hard drive like lags, it just lags my entire computer, and it's like really weird. Ooh, eel. All right, let's go ahead and pause the backup so I can actually get stuff done today. Only when I click backup now. All right, now we wait. Yeah, it's strange. I don't know why an external hard drive would lag my entire computer, but whatever. Okay, let's get a big fish. Come on. It's gonna be a piranha. Oh, it's an eel. One more guy. Boing, boing, boing. Oh my god. Can't believe this. Come on. Come on. Okay. So let's do some pot times. All right, we release one electric eel, and then we raise the pot. Yep, I think it's fixed. Looking good to me. That's what it should show. Okay, just want to make sure also like everything else is still working in here when I release guys and whatnot. No fish caught yet. Yeah, it seems to be working. Just want to do one more logic check through the code, make sure everything is appropriate. So we emit that signal for whenever we catch a fish, and that forces it to update the list after it does all the stuff and adds it. Okay. And I think I'm also doing that after I added caught fish. Yes. So that should be fine. Then I call refresh list, which will totally rebuild this whole menu. One thing I do actually want to make sure I'm doing is also calling update menu info at the end of this, because I probably should. So I don't need to call that down there. Because when I do that, it's going to probably change everything. All right. Yeah, I think we should be good to go. And then you've got inside of the panel script, it'll call update weight. Okay. And on release pressed, I have it set up here so we connect that signal over to update menu info. So that seems good. Alrighty. Cool. Anyways, I guess we're gaming. So let's go put that down on our changelog. Oh, yeah, I can get rid of that. User ID. Fixed an issue where picking up your crab pot while inside of your keep net would cause your list of fish to duplicate. Only visual. Cool. Alrighty, so some of the other things I want to do, I think I'm going to push this off until after Next Fest. It would be nice to have it ready to go, but I'm just worried that if I implement this whole new system right now, it's going to be kind of a, you know, potentially risky, so I'm going to push it off until later. I just don't want to mess up anything. But I do think we can get the notification bubbles above the tanks working most likely. So my kind of idea for that is just whenever there's like a thing happening in your tank that needs attention, you know, whether it's like you can feed your fish again or what's the other thing? Brain no work. When your tank needs cleaning. Probably just like a little auditory thing. I think it's helpful for when you're kind of like you have the game in the background. And just, you know, for other things that aren't immediately visually obvious, right? Like the feeding. So I'll probably just have like some little icons that appear above. We could probably do like an HBox node and just have the textures kind of go in a list horizontally inside of it, and that'd probably be the easiest. Add a fish dating app in game. That'd be crazy. Man. Yeah, the notifications are going to be a research. I have that new research in the research tree now. It's called tank sensors. So when you get that research, it'll allow you to see those notifications. I'm trying to kind of do that with most of the new like features like that I add in is do it in the form of a research, you know, because I mean, it depends on the thing I add. Sometimes I do want it to be something that you get from the very moment you begin the game. But for something like that, it's not like a critical feature that I need people to have. And so it makes sense to have as a research. It's just a little quality of life bonus that you can unlock. Yeah, I know. We definitely need more. I've got 2 new ones for this update, so just gonna have to keep working away at that, adding more things for more research, you know. And eventually when we get into like the fish leveling system I want to do, I think that's going to be a big opportunity for lots of research. Real love. That'd be an awesome name for it, yeah. So let's see here. All right, off to the tank scene. Fish tank. Boom. And then on top of this, we already do have like some stuff set up here. Got the weight node. I guess it's just the weight node. We're going to go ahead and add an HBox above this now, like so. I'm going to set mouse to ignore because I don't want it being annoying. And let's set the minimum size to something quite large, just in case we have like a lot of things that we need to notify people of. Set it right there. And position-wise, probably something like right there. So this will be set to center mode. We're basically just going to have some different texture recs inside of this for the notifications. And like, we'll go and draw some icons for these. I'm just getting them sort of set up. So keep aspect centered. And I want to say fit width, I believe. Yeah. So then I can change the vertical height of this to control like how big these icons are for the notifications. I don't want them to be way too enormous. Maybe something like that, or maybe like 32 because of the way I want to draw these notifications. All right. So now we're going to draw them. Add lore. Your mother has cancer and scientist thinks the cure is from a special fish. Yeah. Let's find this rare fish and take it for its pelvis to be harvested. Maybe. Right now, the lore is just your grandpa used to own the shop, and now he gave it to you to run because he's old. But it would be kind of funny to include some like story event like that like you're working toward. I don't know exactly what it would be right now, but yeah, it's hard to say. I'm not completely opposed to a wacky story, I suppose, but. Oh goodness. Mouse, stop lagging. Is my hard drive still doing stuff? It's so odd how there's like that cooldown on my hard drive where it has like stuff like queued up. I don't know. I don't get it. A little weird. Okay, let's speed this up. We're gonna go ultra speed. Boom. And then I'm gonna round it out because it looks stupid and bad. Do that. All right. The Pixel Guru strikes again. Thank you. This is gonna be like a little like. No, I made it too big. Hold on. I always leave a transparent pixel on the outside because I find that I typically want to add outline shaders to these. And whenever you have like this right up against the edge, I don't have that space in the texture to add an outline to it. So that's the reason I do that. Just in case anybody's wondering why I keep doing that. There's probably ways to get around it where you don't have to manually bake that into the sprite. But I think it's just easier. I don't want to set up some fancy code where I dynamically add it on later and all that garbage. Because it also gives me really fine-tuned control over like where that is visible to. So. So when I don't have space, yeah. Sprite line tool better. Oh, I know. I'm well aware. Don't worry. I just, I don't care. That's why I always recommend A-Sprite. It's not like I'm like anti-A-Sprite. I'm like literally like always like, yeah, A-Sprite is better, guys. Use A-Sprite. But I just think, for me, Greta is my preferred. What else do we want to do here? Could add a little bit of a highlight there. Maybe a smaller one right there. Don't really have an in-between color here. I don't know if I want to do a different color for the interior panel section. I'll probably do like different colors for all of these little notifications, you know? Like I imagine that the sponge one is going to be yellow. Right, so we'll do that. Well, let's do like a bright yellow, I guess. Sort of like that. And then for the interior on this, I'll probably do, I don't know yet. I do want to make sure I have enough contrast here, so I might just do this, honestly. Sort of like this. And then we can add the sponge in the middle. Make sure it's all outlined. All right. I just added friendly fire for the traps, but I have an issue. It should do a lot to the player because you're an idiot for walking in spaces you shouldn't. But if it does a lot to the player, one shots the enemies. I ran into this specific problem in Starground because I have spike traps on the floor, and it's very unbalanced because it like instantly destroys the player. But then, like it's tricky. So literally, what I did to solve it. It's not always a perfect solution or whatever, but it's what worked for me. I just make it do different damage depending on the type of entity that walks over it. So I read in like what entity walked on top of the trap, and I say, if you are an enemy, do a different amount of damage, and if you are a player, do something different. So that's literally what I did. And it works. So I'd probably say do that. But yeah. I'm actually going to do this on the top, so... God. Are you doing notifications for chef is visiting, crap out full? I think that would probably be kind of its own thing. This is specifically for like tank notifications, so it's going to be stuff like, you know, time to clean your tank or whatever, stuff like that. But I could see potentially having stuff like that too. This is just going to be like a little bubble floating above the tank specifically, but I could see doing eventually like having, you know, like a pop-up on screen for when you're out and about fishing that somebody's like arrived or something has happened, you know? The way that the chef spawns in right now is that he really doesn't ever spawn in unless you're inside of the aquarium. So I don't, like, it's not really set up for outside notifications, but I can definitely do it. It's possible. So we'll see. Yeah, we just put the sponge in the middle like this. There we go. Let me just finish up a couple final things here. Why is that not working? Oh, there it goes. It just like... Oh. Then I put stuff on there. Oh my goodness. Okay. It does 3 times more to the player? Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, so what I'd probably do then is just like scale the damage it does, and like if it's doing too much damage to enemies, then just decrease the amount. I do always like that though in games where you've got like hold on. Icon warning sponge. Where the things in the game are like, it treats all of your guys as like equal to each other, which I think is always really cool. Especially when you get into like enemies that attack other enemies and stuff, I think it's always very neat. It just makes the world feel much more dynamic. So. Say, Story Dev, welcome in. Looks so cool. What is it for? This is going to be a little notification that appears above your tanks when there's like stuff that needs to be done. So we're going to have one here for like cleaning with the sponge. And then also, hold on, let's say I need to change the spacing. And one for when your fish can also be fed. So they're just going to pop up above the tank like this. All right, so let's get the next one going then. We've got the fish food vial. Time to feed your fish, time to clean your tank. There's probably going to be more in the future as we add on more mechanics, right? There's definitely going to be like, I'll probably have other systems for your fish sort of along those lines. I'm not 100% sure what they would be yet, but maybe even like stuff like changing filters or something, just more like little maintenance things that you can do for cash boosts. So that's probably going to be the plan. And maybe later on, one day in the distant future, we also have like robots that'll automate the process for you. But yeah. Where is our food icon? I think it's in icons. There it is. I'm gonna have to shrink this one down quite a bit. That's okay. I'm also gonna change the color of the frame. Okay. Now we gotta fix it because it looks ugly. go. Let's just get rid of the highlights there. That is much better. Let's clean all that up. Don't really need the anti-aliasing there. Well, maybe there. All right, then the holes. Something like that. All right, that's good enough, I think. I might do like a little bit of anti-aliasing on the glass. Just like that. Otherwise, I think we're good there. I'll probably make the background on this red. I think is going to be the play. So we do that color. Let's do maybe that there. We'll do a pretty dark color for the background here. Something like that. And this is definitely too bright on the highlight. I think that one works. All right. Icon, warning, food. So then this other one will show up like so. And I'll probably have these set up. So like this will be food, sponge. And this will just kind of wobble up and down. Make sure all of this is set on the mouse mode to ignore, because otherwise we're going to have issues with it selecting stuff. And then we can just make these go invisible or whatever, depending on what needs to be displayed. So now we can go down into ready. We do have some stuff here, like on update grime. I'm going to go ahead and say if, or I guess we better just do it this way. Like, I'm going to have a function that's like check notifications, right? Potentially unwanted app. Update notifications. And there's a couple things that I'll connect to that. So whenever we update the grime, I'm going to call update notifications. Same with... yeah, let's hide those. Let's see what else. Whenever the food is ready to... I'll have to connect up a new signal for that, which is not a big deal. So I think it's global dot food. What is it? Tank food boost changed? Yeah, whenever it activates or runs out, we're going to call that. Now, does that pass in a tank ID? It does. So I'm going to connect to this, where I'm going to say function ID, and if ID is equal to, call this new ID. Then we're going to call update notifications. I guess we also have to do that with this one too, the tank grime, but that's connected to only your proper tank ID, so we should be good. Now, why is this not... Oh, I don't actually have ID. Oh, I'm a little silly. All right, so whenever our food changes, that should also do it. And then the final thing is whenever we unlock a research. So global dot research purchased. And I believe that also comes with an ID. The dot connect function new ID. New ID is equal to li.research.tank sensors, then call update notifications. All right, so we should all be all good there. Cool. Goes invisible by default. Now we can actually check what is like valid and stuff. So if our algae time is less than or equal to 0, we know that it needs cleaning. So we're going to say sponge.visible is true. Let me see. It'd also be cool if some area had an NPC who's also fishing. Yeah, it'd be neat. Some stuff like that is something we can explore way later on, even like post-release and stuff like that. Yeah, just like a decorative guy. No, I totally feel it, yeah. It would be neat. Maybe I will. It'd be cool if it was like a periodic thing that happens. Like you just see a guy randomly walk in and then leave, you know, instead of him just being there forever. There is stuff like that I'd love to do. Like same in like the ocean, it'd be really crazy if like sometimes like a cruise ship crosses the screen or something, you know? It'd just be like, whoa, there's like stuff going on. So maybe I'll explore those kinds of things later. They are pretty like extra, so, you know, but. All right, I want to check make sure that this is not already visible, so, because I don't want notifications to activate twice. I don't know why I'm doing that. If it's not visible, then go ahead and say visible is true, and we'll play a little sound and do all the stuff. All right, then the next one is going to be our food boost time. I think I can say get tank food boost multiplier. Algae time. I don't know if there's an easy way for me to check that, unfortunately. That's okay. Yeah, I probably should make a function for that. Because I have the food boost multiplier. Right, I have to manually call get food boost time and stuff. So I'm going to add that as a new function here. Function get tank food boost time. Pass in a tank ID. Food boost time default is 0. It's just nice to have it in a function. Yeah, like the dolphins you can counter and dredge. Yeah, that's always really cool. I've always liked that. So. All right, so if the time is less than 0, then I want to go ahead and say food visible. Otherwise, if any of these are not already set, then here what I want to go ahead and do is set this back to invisible, right? Boom. And pass in tank ID there. Oh yeah, this is a global function. All right. Hopefully this will work now. And I also have to check like what the research level is at. And then li.research.tank sensors is greater than 0. I'll actually want to say if it's less than or equal to 0, we return. All right, that should all work, hopefully. So it's going to check if it's like the proper things. If we just purchased tank sensors, we go ahead and call it. The food boost, the grime. All right. Hopefully this works. Then let's create a new sound for this, I think. I don't want it to be the same sound as everything else because I think it should be sort of like a distinct ding. We'll have to figure out what we want to do for it. Like ding. Disturbing ding ding ding. No. No. None of those. I mean, that's clearly a glass ding, so it sounds kind of stupid. I need like more of a notification, right? We can make our own if we just opened up like FL Studio if we wanted to, but not that one. We might have to make our own. That one's weird. No, it shouldn't sound like good. I don't know. That's the classic one you hear everywhere. I didn't even hear that one. I mean, I kind of almost like that one. Using GD script? Yeah, that's the language I've been using. You could use C# for Godot if you want, but I don't know. That's the other classic one I hear everywhere. They use that in like Garden of Banban. I don't mind that one completely. I think it could work. I want it to be obvious enough that there's like something to be addressed, but not like super annoying or anything, so this one will probably work. And it's already like nice and formatted properly, so I don't have to edit it. I need to see sounds. Boom. This is why I like CC0, guys. Email, messenger, call this tiny, I'm just gonna call it notification. I hope I don't already have something called notification. Oh god. Hopefully I didn't override something. I doubt that I did, but we'll see, I guess. Then I'm gonna add an audio stream player, and I'm gonna actually make this directional so you can kind of tell like which tank it comes from. Set the range very large, SFX. All right, and then we just play the sound. Call it notification. Notification.play. Notification.play. And then one last thing I want to do. I believe that we have a process event inside of these tanks, so I actually want to change the scale of this. So pivot offset, I'm going to set to halfway, all the way down. So now when I scale this, it scales properly. So let's go do that. So all I'm going to say is HBox container. Let's see, weight visible. I'm gonna say that HBox container being visible is equal to the inverse of whether the weight thing is visible, because I don't want the notifications overlapping the other thing. And then the last part is that we're just gonna apply this scale to a sign. So dot scale is equal to global dot sign range, anywhere from like 0.9 to 1.1. Time.get ticks milliseconds divided by 1,000 times vector 2.1. So it becomes a vector. I think that should be pretty good. So let's go try this out, guys. I don't know if it's going to work, but hopefully it does. Now we wait. I should probably also update those notifications whenever you first load into, because I forgot to do that. So I'm going to say update notifications on the ready event of the fish tank. Okay, here we go, guys. So no notifications, which is good. And then the minute I research that, we should see this one pop up, that it can be, both of them should pop up with both. So, oh, forgot to actually return a value on this. You know what? That would help if I did that. Let's try this again, shall we? Boy. Okay. Ready? Whoa. So we can also make those little icons unshaded, because right now they're being affected by the light sources and like they get dark over here, so that's not ideal. So it's pretty easy. I just go into here. Let's restart the game really quick. And just drop unshaded onto these, which is just a super simple little dummy material I made that just has one line. Render mode unshaded. That way it just tells the engine that it shouldn't be affected by light sources. Do I do pixel art classes? Not really. I don't know. I've never thought about doing them, to be honest. I mean, I've done like some videos on YouTube about pixel art stuff. That's basically the extent I've ever gone with it. But you can watch those. They are kind of outdated though, I'm not gonna lie. There still is some decent information in them, but I think there's probably some things I would want to change if I went back and did them again. Where they at? This one, 5 more mistakes to avoid, and then also the original, this one. See, I had some weird camera settings. I don't know, I recorded in like RAW or something by accident. But you know, there's this whole video you can watch if you want. Improper shading. I talk a little bit about doing shading stuff, about outlining, too many colors. Just all these like common things I think people tend to do with pixel art. Hue shifting, and then I redid this tree. So this is just kind of like showing off all of like the things I talked about, you know, and being like, how do I do this but better? So I kind of redid a lot of the shapes and stuff. Went through. Redid all the lighting. Then I think at a certain point I just like redid a bunch of stuff. Yeah. I'll talk about it in the video though, where it's like, that's part of the process, is like understanding when there's like something that you're not enjoying and going through and fixing it, which is, it's fine. So I think it turned out pretty good. And then I did another one because I was like, whoa, this video did really good. I better make another one. Inconsistent proportions. Improper scaling. Otherwise you get your nasty mixels. Incorrect resolutions. This is like a mixel issue, right? You have like a double resolution rock in here. It's bad. And I just like redo it really quick. Rotating pixel art is a bruh moment. So don't do that. If you do rotate it, you've got to go through and completely redo it. And perspectives. This is another thing that people always do, where they like mix perspectives, where like some stuff is side and then some stuff is top down. So I'm just like, don't do that. If you're gonna do different perspectives, you know, keep it all in one perspective. Then I reuse that tree I drew in the other one. So I was just like, I don't want to draw a new thing. Anyways. But yeah, watch those if you'd like. I don't know, maybe one day it'd be cool to do like an actual like course thing. If that's something that people are interested in, then let me know. But I don't know. I don't like charging people for stuff. If I were to do more like tutorials, I'd probably just make it free and just do a video on YouTube instead of charging people for it, because it's like, I don't know. I don't want to. You from 2 years ago looks oddly different, but not different at the same time. Yeah, it's usually how aging goes. Yeah. I mean, this wasn't that long ago. It was like, yeah, 2 years ago. I grew up my mustache. Also lost weight since then. So my hair is way longer now. It's always like people don't realize my hair until I take off my headphones, but it's pretty long now. It's not super long. It's not like down to my back, but it's getting there. I like shaved my head like a long time ago. It was like a year ago now or something, and I just like I didn't get another haircut. So I'm just kind of like letting it grow out, because why not? So, let's see. Hey Nick, welcome in. Headache went away like half after I went to YouTube yesterday, just as it became too late to do anything with my day. Ah, dang. I feel it. But glad it went away though. That's good. How am I doing today? Yeah, it's going good. I'm just working on a couple little bug fixes and like quality of life features for Lyrden right now for the Next Fest demo that is tomorrow. So, you know, have to get things sort of ready for that. It's a little scary. But Delta Learn reference, yeah, it's crazy. Hair now is way better. I appreciate it. I mean, I do like long hair, but also at the same time, I hate long hair. I think, like, I like how long hair looks, but it's such a pain to manage. I have to scrub it. Like, when you have short hair, it's easy because it's so, like, thin and short that it's like you almost, like, don't even have to, like, wash your hair in a way. Like, you just put a tiny dollop, rub it, and you're done, and your hair is like good to go. But when your hair is long, it gets tangled. Like trying to like, it's just annoying. It's really annoying. There's like a little goblin on my shoulder that's whispering in my ear, and he's like, "Go bald, shave it all off, and go bald." And maybe one day I will. I think the plan is get it long enough so that I can donate it, and then I'll go bald. So, and then I'll probably grow it back out again long, because why not? But John Romero too. He's the guy that made like oh yeah, he has long hair. He did like Doom, right? Oh yeah, he did a bunch of stuff. Wolfenstein 3D, Doom, Doom 2, Hexen, and Quake. That's crazy. He was born in Colorado. What do you know? I'm in Colorado, guys. That's crazy. I was born in Colorado. Maybe I am John Romero. Pretty crazy. Lawyers gonna want you if you like ladies. Man. Maybe if I wasn't only working, that would actually be a possibility. I have curls too, so that's hard to take care of. Oh yeah, I imagine. Yeah, curly hair seems like it'd be a nightmare to manage, honestly. My mom has really curly hair, and it's just like, it's crazy. But anyways, I don't want to get rid of mine though, but I'm way past annoyed with dealing with it. Yeah. You've done that a few times. The breeze feels good, but the awkward stuff is just awkward. I know. There's like, it's like, it's a big change going from long hair to bald. So I don't know. It's pretty crazy. It'd be funny though. I'll do it someday. I think I want to lower the scale that these are changing by a little bit and also increase the speed because it's kind of slow. And also I just feel like they're like moving too much. So I'm going to like divide that value by 2. And then let's increase the speed here a little bit by dividing the value by a smaller amount. That's a little better, I think. Honestly, maybe do it even more. Like maybe make it a little less strong and even faster. I want it to kind of be like, you know, hey, there's something here you need to pay attention to. I think that's a little bit better. Not as annoying. So yeah, let's test it out then. And then when you hover over it, the notifications go away, which is good. So if I go ahead and let's see if we can like get it so I can see it as I'm in. If I feed the fish, boom, the fish feeding notification goes away. And then if I scrub it down, the sponge notification goes away. Epic. And then if I go ahead and say algae time to 0, yeah, you can hear the sound. Cool. Does it sound directional? Let's test that, shall we? And then let's say algae 0. Oh yeah, it does work. The range on it is actually kind of like too small, I think. So let's up it to like 3840, the 4K monitor resolution. Yeah, that'll work. Alrighty. I don't even have good curls. My dad's straight hair and my mom's black hair mixed. Oh yeah. Interesting. Yeah, my hair isn't like perfectly straight. I don't have like the John Romero hair where it's just like a perfect straight hair. Most people don't really have hair like that where it's like perfectly straight. It's pretty crazy. It's just like straight. My hair has like a little bit of waviness to it, I would say. John Romero with short hair. That's crazy. Wavy hair. Not this wavy, but more something like this, where it naturally wants to kind of bunch up like this. Is that Harry Styles? Yeah. So. Didn't he like go like major bald? Harry Styles 2026. He's got money. He can do whatever he wants. Romero 100% straightens his hair. Oh, yeah. He might. I guess, yeah, you could do that with like a... What do they even call that? An iron? Hair iron? Is that how you straighten hair? That seems like it would be bad for your hair. Like it would like burn your hair. I've never done any like hair treatments because it just seems like it would be bad for it. Yeah, I would just like straighten it. I know that some people do naturally like genetically have very straight hair. I think typically like Native Americans tend to have very straight hair. At least I think so. Hopefully I'm not racist, but I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Just depends on where you're from. Also, I think a lot of people from like Asia tend to have very straight hair, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. I could be completely wrong. I don't know. But I know that like curly hair is more of like a European trait, I think. Maybe. I don't know. I could be completely wrong, guys. Anyways. So, hey, Steven, welcome in. How's it going? Okay, well, I guess the notifications are done. Just thinking if there's like anything else we need to do. I might lower this whole H box a little bit more, just so that they're kind of more like floating directly above the tank. Just so it's a little more clear, it's like pointing to that tank instead of just like randomly above it. I do wish the spacing between these was like a little bit less. The problem is that it's kind of baked into the sprite. So what I could do instead is, I guess it's okay if this isn't a perfect square. I'm just gonna like crop it to be around where the actual sprite is. My computer would like stop lagging. I literally turned off the backblaze stuff, so I don't know why it's still so laggy. I swear it like still does stuff in the background even when I turn it off. I have to like actually like close the process because I was having this issue yesterday. I want to get braids for the longest time, but I would do my mom's hair to pull them off. Still could, but it would be harder. Yeah. I wonder how like long my hair is gonna end up being, because yeah, I don't know if it's ever gonna get like long enough for stuff like that, like doing like braids or like you know, a ponytail. I don't know. I wonder if I could do it now. Why are these still... Can I reset the size? I did change them, didn't I? Oh, my computer is so laggy, dude. I feel like it's getting worse. Why is it still big? All right, Backblaze, get done. Get out. It's like Godot didn't update its files. I don't know what happened. I might have to reload the project. Because I'm pretty sure they did I did change them, right? I thought. Maybe I saved a different file? Oh yeah, it's in icons. Yeah, it looks like it's updated. I think Godot just didn't reload the files for some reason. Probably because there was like a lag spike right when I saved it or something and it just didn't work. What? Okay, maybe not. Maybe it's because of that. I need to say keep size. That's probably better. All right, that's fine then. Yeah, I just want them to be closer together. There's no reason to have them so far apart. That should be better. Ponytails are annoying if hair is barely long enough. Yeah. I imagine, like, I probably could just sort of do something, but it would just be like, it'd probably like just slip out of the, what do you even use? See, I've never had long hair before, so I have no idea about anything. Do you use like a scrunchie or whatever those are to make a ponytail, or is it something else? I have no idea. So, also, does this play the sound when I first load in? Doesn't seem to, which is interesting. I would have expected it to. Huh. But it does if I go ahead and say feed 0 or food time. Food boost. Can't remember the name of my command. Oh, what? It did work. Uh-oh. Did I lose the research? No, I still have it. So that's interesting. It seems like something's failing. We better go figure that out. Let me go ahead and print this. So that activates there, and if I say food 0 or whatever. Food boost 0? Yeah, food boost is the command. So it did not update, it didn't get called in there or anything, which is a little strange. I guess the reason that happened is actually because I manually call when the food boost happens. And so when I set it with a command, it doesn't work, which is funny. So that would be why. Just for testing, I'm going to go ahead and go into the commands menu, and with food boost, I'm going to say set that, and then also with each one, I want to say global dot tank food boost change dot emit with tank ID, the I, and that should just for the command specifically force it to change. There we go. Yeah. It's weird that I can't seem to, like... I don't hear the sounds play when I load in, which is strange. Like, I don't know why it doesn't. I mean, it's not a huge deal. Oh god, I forgot to include an argument. It also seems kind of super quiet now. Did I change something? Not really. It just seems so quiet now. Maybe I need to up the volume a little bit. That's better. Well, I guess it's fine if it doesn't immediately notify you when you just return, because I mean, like, I don't want that to get annoying if you like purposely leave the things there. It'll just keep going doing every time you come home from a fishing trip, so it might be annoying. But I do want it to play that sound when you're like in the aquarium and it happens, because it's just a good little notifier. I do want to set this maximum distance probably even more. I'm just gonna set it to like 10,000 just to make sure it's not having issues. Let's test it again. All right, well, hopefully it should be good to go. Seems like everything's working. And then if I get rid of my research, I think it's like set research li dot research dot take sensor 0. I should no longer have it. Got my command. So just research, reset upgrades, research. Set upgrade. Do I not have a set research yet? I don't think I do. I can reset all of my research. Remove research is what it's called. Man, I'm just like research.tank sensors. Did it work? So it did work, but it didn't actually update my notifications, which is a little bit funny. So I have to fix that. Oh, but I guess it didn't update because I don't have it anymore. So that would be why. It's a little interesting. Because it just immediately returned here. Well, I'm never going to remove the research, so it doesn't matter. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Anyways. The middle part is good. If you're above 20 and have the right face shape, that's fair. Yeah, like split the middle. Yeah. There's probably a lot of ways you could do your hair. Hair middle part. Yeah, like this guy. I mean, I guess you just brush it on either side. My hair naturally kind of like wants to do that sometimes. Sometimes it's hard to not do a middle part. This is definitely an AI, right? Anyways. Yeah, exactly. Subsid's not comfortably long enough. Yeah. Brand new to Godot, just chilling watching someone else's workflow. Nice, yeah, that's cool. I always think it's fascinating to see like how other people go about stuff, honestly. Like watching oh man, the stuff we saw with Proxy last night was insane, dude. Where he was doing like the donut. That's wild, huh? And he like did like a shader to like warp the tiles around you so you don't know that the tile sizes are changing. It's like insane. That's such a wacky shader. I don't even know how you start going about something like that at all. But man, it is wild. I always dreamed of having a nice house on a tall building in Montreal and just chilling. Yeah. Montreal's up in Canada, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like a city. Like, kind of like a suit up on a skyscraper. I feel it. Yeah. One place I'd always love to live in, I think, is Washington. I'm so tired of how dry Colorado is, honestly. It's just a bruh moment. In Washington, like, it feels like it's got, like, all the things I'd want. You've got beach access, you know, tons of forests and places to go and travel to and mountains. There's like all the stuff is there. I don't know, maybe one day. And temperatures are nice and normal. That's the big thing. That's cool. You know, here it's like -20 and then up to like 100 degrees in the summer. That doesn't happen in Washington. It's just kind of like always like around like 60 degrees, which sounds pretty freaking nice. So, but yeah, I don't know. We got an ad starting in 20 seconds. I apologize, everybody. Mother lives in Inwood, New York. Oh, yeah. Inwood. New York also seems like a nice place, honestly. Oh, yeah, this is like a neighborhood next to downtown. Pretty neat. Yeah, like on either sides of the coast, I feel like in the US seem like cool places, honestly. I know like New York City gets like a bad rap, but you know, it's fine. Imagine not having an ad blocker. I do have an ad blocker. Did I get an ad? I don't think I did. Yeah. There's some cool spots in New York, even though it's like iconic for being like, you know, the big city. Oh, ads in 20 seconds. Oh yeah, having an ad blocker for the stream. Yeah. I used to have an ad blocker for Twitch, but it stopped working, unfortunately, which really sucked. And I don't know why. I think Twitch kind of cracked down on their ad blocker stuff, unfortunately. But I still haven't been able to find one that works, so. Last time I moved, Washington was on my short list. Nice, yeah. Does seem cool. Definitely, like, if I were to ever move somewhere, I'd want to travel there first and see what it's like, but just from, on paper, Washington seems nice. And I love the rain. I wish it would rain more. The thought of it raining like once a week to me is like mind-boggling. Because here where I live, it's like rain. I get lucky if it rains like once a month or more. Like there's times I've gone like 6 months without it ever raining. It's like you get a little bit of rain in the spring and then it's kind of just over for the whole year. And sometimes it snows during the winter, but literally last winter it didn't snow. And so it's been so dry. It sucks. Inwood West Side way better than East Side, but you go again, don't get upset. Yeah, that's fair. Rain once a month sounds heavenly. I think it's freaking boring. I like the rain. I like water, and no rain makes me sad. It's like I'm in the desert. I mean, technically Colorado is a desert, but it sucks. So, and even if it does rain, it like rains for 30 minutes and then it's over. You know, you don't get like torrential downpours. It's kind of sad. I like the torrential downpours. I want it to rain more, but yeah, unfortunately it doesn't. So yeah, it doesn't rain that much here in general, but we've had downpours like 5-7 days in the last week. That's crazy. 5 out of 7 days. That like has never happened in Colorado. I mean, it probably like has one day in the past, but at least the time I've been here and been alive, that doesn't happen. You'd be lucky if it were to ever rain for more than one day. I don't know if I've ever seen it like rain straight for more than a day. Like, it just doesn't happen. Screw the rain, everything's moldy and soggy, and you can never wear anything nice. It sounds wondrous, though. I want the rain. I get so tired of the dry, you know? I don't know, the rain is such a vibe. But, I don't know. It comes with some downsides, I guess, but maybe I just like the rain because I don't get any. Yeah, grass is always greener. Exactly. But I think like living in dry areas for me sucks. It's like my nose gets dry and my skin cracks. And even if you have like an in-house humidifier, it's just still not enough. Because also here's the problem. It gets so hot in my house that I have to blast fans on all my windows open constantly at nighttime. So any moisture that builds up with a humidifier just gets it all goes away at nighttime, so you can't ever like get your house at a normal humidity level. It sucks. Unless you blast your air conditioner, but then that costs $1 million, so. Meanwhile, in the UK, yeah, the UK apparently rains a lot. You're going to the Lake District in the UK. Is that a thing? Lake District. Oh, it's a mountain range. Okay, cool. That's pretty neat. It does seem like there's a lot of really cool areas in the UK and stuff, especially like up in Scotland. There's like some crazy stuff. Yeah, there's a Northwest England. Looks pretty nice. Man, imagine like being able to go outside and not get your skin immediately evaporated off of your body. That would be crazy. Like having cloudy days and like a UV index lower than 9. Wouldn't that be crazy? Doesn't happen here. Every time I go outside, I have to completely slather up. Otherwise, I get burnt. I hate the sun. I'm sick of it. If it was cloudy every day and 60 degrees every day, that'd be like perfect weather. Rain every other day, cloudy every day. I don't want to see the sun ever again. That would be my ideal climate, honestly. Here you need to vent out the humidity constantly or else everything gets damaged and you gotta heat up. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so, but be nice though. You have swamp coolers. I don't have a swamp cooler. It is something that could be interesting because it would help with humidity plus the heat, honestly. Like I was actually looking at them like a couple weeks ago, funny enough. Because yeah, you just like load them up with cool water, then you just evaporate the water into the air, which cools down the air and also adds humidity. So I don't know. Maybe. It's just expensive though, you know? That's a thing. It's a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money to spend. Imagine seeing the sun ever. Yeah, I freaking wish I could. If I could snap my fingers and the sun would go away forever, I'd do it. So your body hurts constantly from the windy wet? Oh, yeah, I bet that could be annoying. Not gonna lie, I'm lucky the weather in Spain, other than the heat, can be very nice. Yeah. Yeah, anywhere like that, like around the coast, I feel like the weather seems much more stabilized, you know, in just terms of like temperature swings. Because when you're in the middle of nowhere and you don't get those like currents from the coast, it's like the contrast between your seasons and just your literally day and night temperatures is so vast, you know? Because we get like usually like a 40-degree swing from daytime to nighttime just on your average day. And then summertime, it's like 100 degrees, and winter, it's like below 0. So it's just like so annoying. And you also get temperature swings like that just on any given day. Like you walk outside and it's like nice and 60 degrees, and then all of a sudden sun comes out, it's 100 degrees now, you know? Sucks, guys. Sick and tired of it. It's often pretty cold in Sweden. Yeah. I don't really mind the cold so much. Like, I'm fine with the cold, but the heat in the summer, that's the part that I hate the most. That's why I want to go more north, you know? I'm so sick and tired of the heat. Like, I literally wear shorts unless it's below freezing temperatures, like 32 Fahrenheit, which for Celsius is 0, you know? Because it's fine. I just deal with it. It's okay. It feels good. The heat is like inescapable. It's like this, like if I'm cold, I put a blanket on, I snuggle up and I'm cozy and warm. But if I'm too hot, I'm screwed. I can take like a cold shower, but that's just like a temporary you know, Band-Aid solution. Fans kind of work, but like you're still just blowing hot air onto you. Ugh. The heat is like oppressive. It's just inescapable. Move then. One day if I have money, that'd be cool. Eventually. Northwest Europe weather sucks in general. Equator vibes is where it's at. Yeah. The equator does seem like neat, although like the only thing with that is it is very hot down there, and it's like always hot. It's crazy because I was looking at like the temperatures in like winter in Hawaii, and it's like almost the exact same as the summer temperatures, but it's like always above 80 degrees. So it seems like that would be kind of miserable. I feel like coastal northern temperatures is what I would want, like Washington. So lakes do too, just lesser than the oceans. Yeah, you'd have to, I bet like near like the Great Lakes and stuff, that effect is probably really amplified just because they're so big. But I don't have any bodies of water near me that are even remotely close enough to do that. Also hate the cold. Man, the cold is so much better than the heat, guys. You're just wrong. That's okay, I feel it though. Pennsylvania is lit. Yeah, I used to live there. Interesting. Yeah. Never heard of any crazy weather incidents in Pennsylvania. Average salary in Cuba is $16. Found that out a few days ago. Feel so blessed even times can be rough. That is actually pretty good, yeah. 16 bucks. Or salary? Or do you mean hourly wage? Because if that's your whole salary, that's abysmal. What? Sorry, I misread that. That's okay. That's extremely bad. Never mind. I thought you meant like hourly wage. I'm like, that's pretty good. Never mind. That's really bad. Yeah. Even though I complain, you know, it's not that bad. Next game burned in. Yeah. It's so real. So scary when you're saying 100 degrees outside. Yeah. What would that be in Celsius? 100 F2C. Be 37 Celsius, so much lower. Yeah, 100 Celsius is instant death. That's boiling temperature. That's not good. The water will evaporate from the lakes. So I've only ever heard Americans complain about sunny weather. I think it's because so much of the United States is just sunny weather. You know, basically, like if you look at a map of the US, like we can draw out the area that's just straight sunny weather constantly. Like, I mean, more as you get more eastern, it's not as bad. But like this whole region, like all of this middle area is like 90% sunny days. And then when you get into the east and stuff and the coastal areas, it's not as bad. But man, the middle of the United States is a nightmare. Anyways. I gotta go. Stream was fun. Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your night or day. But yeah. Very late night. I feel it. I stay up way too late. I stayed up until like 9 a.m. last night. It's pretty fricked up. Usually it's not the sun itself that's complained about, just the temperature or dryness. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, it's just the fact that it's always paired with like 100 degrees outside and also 0% humidity. That's super epic. It just sucks. So tired of it. One of these days, guys. If I become not broke one day, then I'm gonna leave and go to Washington, where it's cool and cold and rains more than once every 3 months. So yeah, I mean, I imagine like extreme humidity would be really bad, you know, like living down like on the southern tip of like Florida or something where it's got like mad humidity. I could see how that could be pretty suffocating, because you're also pairing that humidity up with the heat too. I think heat plus crazy humidity would be really bad. That's why, like, I think like living in like a tropical area for me would just not be good. I think that would be a bad time. But humidity in like a colder climate like Washington, I feel like would be much easier to deal with. Because like it doesn't like sit in the air. It's not so heavy. When I went to Texas, it really like rained a bunch, and it was like, man, this is like so like, it's like heavy in your lungs. I don't know. It's kind of wacky, man. It's like weird being somewhere where it's not dry, because it's the only thing I've ever known is dry. So, just added multiplayer to the farm game. Hey, let's freaking go. That's crazy. The project showcase on the Discord server. Nice. It's really cool. Man, multiplayer. I fear multiplayer. Not gonna lie. I think the takeaway is that extreme anything sucks, especially if it's constant. I agree. Yeah. It's true. I mean, even though Colorado gets really hot and stuff, I imagine it's even worse in a place like New Mexico or Arizona. So at least I'm thankful I'm not there. Because man, I can't imagine like living in like Las Vegas or something like where it's just hot all day long, every part of the year, dry. Like how often does it rain in a place like Arizona? I mean, I guess more specifically like Nevada, because Arizona does have like more eastern areas are like wooded. Rainfall in Nevada. See, it's 103 degrees just right now, just right now. And then at nighttime, it's still like above room temperature. It's like 80 degrees. So you have no reprieve. The thing that's nice about Colorado, at least, I will say, is that at nighttime, it gets cold. So I have the chance to open my windows and it's okay. But if I couldn't open my windows at nighttime, I would die. I think I would actually like be depressed. It would be very bad. Yeah, precipitation. Who would have guessed 0? Annual statewide precipitation is 10 inches. What is it in like Washington? I bet it's a lot more than 10 inches. 40 inches. So it's literally like it rains like 4 times as much in Washington, or at least that's just quantity, right? But yeah, pretty crazy. It's funny just looking at this and just everything's 0. It's like, yeah, there's no rain. Crazy. Does it rain a lot in Nevada? Why is my like Chrome broken? I can't click on these little drop down tabs anymore. I really don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, like northeastern Nevada, lower southern Nevada, it's only 7 inches of rain, which is like crazy. I wonder how that compares to Arizona or like New Mexico. Annual rainfall. 13 inches, so it's a little more in New Mexico. Actually raining there now. What about in Arizona? 13 inches. So yeah, it seems like Nevada's probably like the least then. I wonder what it's like in like Florida. It's probably the most. Yeah, 40 to 60 inches a year. That's crazy. I do wonder where it rains the most in the United States. Oh, maybe like Louisiana? I can't see. Yeah, 57. That's the average rainfall is like 50, almost 70 inches of rain. Oh my goodness. Where? Yes, southeast. Louisiana is the most. So if you want rain, go to Louisiana. Anyways. So mold. God, I hate mold. I know not of this mold you speak of. Humid heat feels absolutely miserable. Dry heat kills you while you feel mostly fine. Yeah. I went to when I went to Texas for the solar eclipse, I went into like a public aquarium, and it was super hot and humid in there. Like, it's fine just temporarily, but man, if you had to like live in that all the time, that would be pretty bad. It's like you'd thrive in some Canadian city like Edmonton. Oh yeah. Edmonton's like in the middle of the place, right? Middle of Canada. It's like in Alberta. I don't know how much it rains there. In theory, for the most rain, you want mountains next to the shore. Yeah. Makes sense. Probably why you get like a lot of rain over here, because the Rockies are right here. And then here you've got the Ozarks, which is probably why it rains so much here. But then over here, even though I do have mountains here, there's no shore, so it doesn't rain. Yeah, it is like one of the lowest in the whole country. I mean, the only ones lower is these, the Scorchers, Wyoming and Montana. Yeah. All I know is that it's cheap to live in Edmonton. Oh, yeah. I know a couple people from Edmonton. Edmontonian. Founded 1795. They have pyramids there? What are these pyramids? Where'd they get the pyramids? Whoa. Pretty crazy. Is $50,000 a good salary? I can't click on it, but 1 million people there. Yeah, it seems chill. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever move to Canada because it would require me to completely restructure everything and also rescind my citizenship of the United States, because otherwise I'd have to pay double taxes. And that just sounds like a big, long, complicated process. So, probably not. Because, yeah, otherwise, like, I think then if I make money in Canada and I'm still a citizen of the United States, I'd still have to pay taxes on any money that I made. Which, yeah. Okay, did I come in here and did these notifications just not work? I don't think they did. Shoot. Now they work, but it seemed like when they first happened, it didn't do it. Yikes. So why did that happen? Tank food boost. So tank grime changed. We say update grime. And then I do call update notifications, where I say if algae time is less than 0, that should be fine. I mean, it just properly updated here, so why didn't it go initially? That's a little problematic. Mountains make the air go up, get cooler. Cooler air can hold less water, so it rains before it gets across the mountains. Yeah. That desert's on the other side of the mountains because no humid air can get across the mountains to ever rain. Yeah, I see. Makes sense. Still believe that the notifications will be left over to the tanks after you ascend. I don't think that would happen, but we can test it. Because when you ascend, it completely reloads the aquarium scene. So that should, like, delete your research and get rid of them. But we will test it because we got to make sure it works. So why did this not work? Because I say tank grime changed. I update here. I just want to go ahead and, like, print out here. What's odd is that, like, it seemed like when I set my grime time again to 0, the algae time to 0. No, it's just not updating, which is really funny. All right. So clearly we got to fix that. It's very strange that... Did it print out? Yeah, it did. So, did it not call notifications? Let's see if that prints. So that didn't get called at all. Then if I do this again... Yeah, it's just not calling at all, which is a little bit weird. It's like the signal just isn't being emitted. Tank grime changed. But it is calling that other one, so it must be thinking for some reason that the tank ID is not the same? Which is a little weird. Unless it's saying for some reason... I really doubt this. Aquariums and Ascension in the same game seems wild. Yeah. I think of the Ascension more like, not like ascending to another higher plane of existence or whatever, but more like selling your aquarium and moving to like a better building, or like a, you know, a building in a more popular area or something like that. That's kind of the way I look at it. Okay, so it printed that out 6 times, didn't it? So it did print it. It did print it. But somehow it seems like it just didn't work. Research tank sensors. So is it just thinking that I don't have the research right now? Oh, because I'm a fool and I don't have the research. Because I forgot I reset my research and everything was actually working fine. Yay. Oh my god, okay. I'm just stupid, guys. Everything was actually okay. Boy. Okay, then I think we should be good to go then. So we got the food boost. Close update notifications. Tank grime. Grime changes, update notifications. Alrighty. Let's go add this to the changelog. Sensors research to enable view I before E except after C. Receive notifications for tank maintenance. I never know how to spell maintenance. Okay, I got it this time. Cleaning and food. Okay. I think that's pretty much everything. What's in the debugger? I just complained about that, which is fine. And fish caught, not explicitly used, so we can say at ignore or warning ignore. Unused signal, because I don't care. All right, well, guys, I think it might be time to export the game. Is there anything, any other bugs or any other problems people have ran into with your stuff? Cool game. I played the demo. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you enjoyed. Yeah, I mean, I think everything seems to be going pretty good. Haven't noticed any other issues, and we fixed those too additionally, so that should be like basically all of the bugs I can think of. I fixed the playtest pop-up being stupid. UI scale is funny, but that's okay. I don't care right now. When you're releasing the full game, full launch is slated for July 17th. So not that far away. Only like 1 month away. So I really gotta get grinding out on the full version of the game. I really hope that I can get enough content finished in time so that people feel like the price of the game is justified. That is something that's like, you know, I need to get figured out. Because I did kind of include a lot of stuff in the demo. And I'm a little worried that it does kind of set a precedent of like, oh, well, the demo has so much stuff. So the full game is probably going to be like 3 times as much stuff, right? I don't know if I'll be able to multiply the game by 3. We'll try. But I mean, this is basically where the demo will end now in terms of content, so it's going to stay pretty static. If I need to, I might go back and do like some bug fix updates for the demo, but hopefully that isn't going to be a thing, as long as I'm able to eliminate most of the bugs. The price is not 100% set yet, but I'm thinking somewhere like around like $7.99 or something like that. Obviously, that's in USD. It'd be localized for all the other regions, so some places it'd be way, way cheaper. But I feel like around that kind of price is fair for the time that you get, you know? Some people can spend a lot of time in this game. From what I've seen, for like most people just playing through the demo alone, they can easily spend around like 5-6 hours if you really want to like catch all the fish and do all the things and finish the ascension tree and all that. So, you know, you're looking at like $1 an hour rate, somewhere around there is probably about accurate, which is pretty decent. I mean, if you think about that in context of like other games and stuff, you know, like you get like a full-on story game or something that's like has like a 20-hour linear storyline that costs like $70 because that's how much games cost now. You still get a pretty good, like that's like $2 an hour. This would be like $1 an hour. So I feel like it's pretty fair. And that's just the demo, by the way. I'm gonna add a bunch more stuff, so it's probably gonna be even way better than that. And some people have spent a lot more than just the bare minimum, you know, that you need to like finish stuff. I've seen a couple people spend a lot of hours. Like if you just look at the review page, you kind of get an idea of how much people spend in the game, right? Wasn't I working on a new NPC? Yeah, that's something that I will be hopefully finishing in time for the full launch of the game. A couple different guys that can walk into your shop and do different things. So here we go to the demo. And then go look at our reviews. Luckily, all of our reviews have been positive, which is good. So this person spent 17 hours, 6 hours there, 0.8, which is fine. Like I think there's like 2 groups of people. There's like people that just pop in for a little bit and mess around. And to be fair, it's just a demo, so they're not going to be trying to. Then there's like people on the flip side that are usually always like above like at least 6 hours. 8 hours, 6 hours, 19 hours, 2 hours, 0.3 hours, 7 hours. So if you add all that stuff up, I feel like I'm seeing like a pretty average play time of like 8 hours. So yeah, about $1 an hour. I think it's fine. And, you know, that just continues to get more and more economical. That's kind of the way I think of like pricing in terms of like video game stuff, is like your price per hour spent in the game, right, of playtime. So, I mean, something like Factorio, my price per hour is insane because I have almost 3,000 hours in the game. I think cost when I bought it was $20. So you're looking at something like 150 hours per $1, which is insane. So you divide that by 1 divided by 150, less than a penny per hour. That's crazy. So that's a decent price for a game by a developer I don't know. Not a huge risk of I wind up not liking it. Yeah, right. I wanted to pick a price around that area because it's like it's not like a huge investment. I think anything above $10, you kind of have to be a little bit more certain. But usually sub $10 is like pretty impulse purchase. And like also that's just sort of what's floating in my head right now. I'm still gonna talk to my publisher and like get a real price figured out, but it might even be less than that. So who knows? You know, I could see either like going like the $7.99 route or like $4.99, like just underneath the $5 threshold. Because below that threshold, it really becomes a pure impulse buy. Whenever I see a game that's less than $5, I buy it because it's so cheap. It's like I don't even care if I waste my time or dislike the game. It's fine because it's cheap enough, right? So at least that's the way I usually think about it. Oh, buns up a calculator, just type 8. I do that stuff all the time where I'm like, I don't know, my brain just like can't process. Like I open up a calculator and I do like 8 minus 2. Just to double check and make sure that I'm actually correct, you know? I don't want to mess anything up. It's too hot in my room. Alexa, fan on. Turn it up. Just started making a game. Any tips? I think some of the biggest things that I would say for sure is if you're just starting out, start with very, very small games. You know, don't pick any genres that are technically complicated. And over time, as you get more experienced with developing, you start to understand which genres are technically complicated. But some of like the big ones you should avoid, anything with multiplayer, MMOs, massive big open world RPGs, stuff like that. Don't do those kinds of games. Incremental games are a solid pick. You could do even like a platformer. Like I know platformers are kind of like oversaturated, but they're still a pretty easy genre to approach. You could do like you can always do like the classic like recreate chess, you know. A lot of people do that just to get experience programming. So there's a whole bunch of stuff like that you could do. That's one thing I would say, because I've ran into that trap before where I work on some massive monstrous game, you know, like Starground, and it just becomes insane, like just so much work, and you start hating your own project and it's bad. So that's the biggest thing. Make a small game, and the other part of it is make sure that it's something that you actually enjoy making. Like don't listen to you know, industry trends and like, you gotta make a simulator game right now. That's the new hot genre. And if you don't do it, your game's gonna flop. Because that's stupid. You know? Just because like there's a somewhat increased percentage of simulator games people are buying doesn't really mean anything. And like also those kinds of stats can be kind of like fabricated. Like it might just be that more simulator games are being purchased because there's more simulator games. It's like a phantom trend, you know? It seems like it's popular just because there's more simulator games, but it doesn't necessarily mean people want more simulator games. So just work on the kind of game that you have the most fun playing and or developing, because that's the most important thing at the end of the day, is staying motivated to continue developing your game and finishing it. So don't listen to trends. Don't compare your progress to other people, because everyone has their own like rate at which they improve and change. Only compare yourself to your past self. That's the only person you should compare to. And as long as you're a better version of yourself a couple years ago, then that means you're still improving and you're fine. And just keep doing what you're doing. So those are just some general things. Read documentation for the engine that you're using. Godot has some pretty good documentation. There's a bunch in here. It just it really helps outline everything and understand how to read documentation. Like when you look at like, you go through the class reference and stuff and look at these different like node types. It's important to understand what these terms mean. So I'd like research this stuff, right? Like what is properties and what are methods? Because if you know these things like the back of your hand, you immediately go through and be like, oh yeah, this stuff. Oh, there's the function I need. Boom. Go read up on it. How does it work? Play backwards. Done. I've now learned, I've taught myself how to use that function in like just a couple seconds, right? I mean, I already knew what that function did, but you know what I mean. it's significantly helpful to read documentation. So that's what I'd say. But yeah, if you got any other questions, let me know. Everyone is different, but a $5 game, I suspect is shovelware. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, that's like a funny thing psychologically, right? Is like, kind of like, the more expensive your game is, the more value people attach to your game when they play it. Where they're like, if a game is like $1, they're gonna treat it like a $1 game and be like, this game's probably just garbage. And then they play it and they're like, yeah, I knew it was garbage. But if your game was like on the flip side, like $20, they'd be like, okay, this is gonna be a good one because I just spent $20. They like expect a good experience. So that's always something interesting about pricing, is like lower pricing can affect the way that people view your game. You know, even though it's the exact same game, just the price can change someone's experience like significantly. So I don't know, it is a whole science, you know. There's probably people that study and engineer this stuff, like people that work for like grocery store chains, like figuring out like what makes the most sense price wise. You know, you compare the time spent and everything and your fees, and also like the perception of a product is really important. So yeah, it's crazy. I bought Minecraft for around $7. I have like around 1,000 hours. Yeah, $0.007 per hour. Yeah. Oh man, I have probably easily more than 10,000 hours in Minecraft. If I had some way to track it, because the thing is I always play like modded and it's on like a different instance, so it's not like the same game. But man, I probably have tens of thousands of hours in Minecraft. It's definitely my most played game for sure. And I bought it a long time ago. I think when it was like $15. Back when it was like in like beta or whatever. I was a little kid and I was like, Mommy, can I please buy Minecraft? I was like, I don't even remember how old I was. I was pretty young. I was like 6 years old or something. Let's see. Yeah, game jams are a very good thing. I check out like some of the shorter game jams, like 3-day jams. I would recommend something like GMTK is a really solid one, which I think is coming up like super soon, isn't it? Unless it already happened. Okay, begins in 1 month. So this is a really solid jam I recommend for people. It's only 3 days. And it's just it's a solid, like, well put together jam. It's one of the biggest jams around. There's 17,000 people joining it, so that's crazy. And then also like Down to Jam. little plug here. Down to Jam is pretty good, or I guess it's D2 Jam. This one is ran by Adagon, and a couple other people alongside Adagon. And it's a really good one too, so. Yeah, also Juniper Dev is doing one too. And that one seems pretty good. It probably shows up here somewhere on the itch. So show the jam. Hold on. Yeah, this one. So this is another, yeah, it's got a lot of people join now. There's another one that you could also totally do. It's a little bit of a longer jam, so that I wouldn't want to. I don't really personally like long jams. Like anything more than 3 days is too much for me, but you know, it's okay. Let's see. It's a tough day. Gonna take a little break, and if you're still around, pop in an hour or two. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm probably gonna end stream here pretty soon, but thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your night. Oh yeah, it's gotta be super late for you right now. Yeah, you should go to bed. Let's see. Well, bed. You're gonna head to sleep now too. Sounds good. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it. You can also pick where to put your complexity. If you're already good at art or writing, you can make a game that's simple in programming. Yeah, I think that's another really important thing too, is like, I mean, it is good to explore new skills, and I think there's a time and place for that. Specifically with jams is the time to experiment and have fun and like learn things. Whenever I do a jam, I always like set myself a goal of doing something new, right? Where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try this new thing that I haven't done before, you know, stuff like that. So that's an opportunity to get better at things. But when it comes to like your commercial project, you still will absolutely learn a lot of things. But I always do that where I try and like, say local volley, thank you for the follow. Try and like center things around my capabilities, right? Because really it's if you don't do that, it takes a long time to make a game. So I always think like, okay, I suck at like drawing characters and modeling characters, so I usually try and avoid that kind of stuff in games. I can get around it for 2D stuff like lured in, it's fine doing the NPCs, but 3D modeling characters, I am not good at. So I'm probably gonna avoid that in the future for 3D games. Gonna do another 4-hour jam eventually. It's just kind of like a lot of work to do a 4-hour jam, but I think it would definitely be cool to do another. So yeah, because we did that one. I still want to edit it down into an actual devlog. I think would be cool. Or it's not a devlog, I guess, just a video. You know, the one that we did on. I have the whole VOD. I downloaded it. It's just sitting on YouTube. So, because yeah, it would be pretty cool, I think, to turn that into a video. I might as well. I mean, it's just kind of sitting there. Bunch of content for me to use. Wherever that one was, I don't. Somewhere near 4-hour. There it is, 4-hour game challenge. That was April 1st, April Fools. But it was fun, you know. It's really kind of pushing my limits in terms of what I'm able to achieve in 4 hours, which is good. That's kind of, I look the exact same right now. I'm wearing the same shirt. Isn't that kind of funny? It's kind of weird. Anyways. Yeah, it was fun though. I do want to do another one eventually. And I think it'd be fun to kind of make it like a real event on the server, on the Discord server. That like everybody can join in on. It's pretty difficult to like schedule something like that though, because 4 hours is an extremely specific time frame. So it's like, I don't know how I'm going to go about doing it. I might kind of set like a, I'm not really sure. I might make it so people have to record them working on their game, you know, so I can kind of like prove that they only spent 4 hours or something like that. I don't really know, because I want to make sure it stays fair for everybody. I don't want somebody coming in and actually spending 16 hours making their game and cheating, because that's not fun. Yeah, it is crazy how quickly I made this game. It's pretty insane. And like, yeah, it's not a super fun game, but for only 4 hours, that's pretty insane. I've got like a whole UI set up and like a character that can walk around, and you can mine blocks and get money and purchase upgrades, and it's crazy. So yeah, I think it's, I always really enjoy doing like challenges like this, and like testing the speed at which I can develop things is always good. Because you know, my development speed is pretty important. The faster I can make games, the more games I can make. So I do kind of really value that, like setting really like tight deadlines for things, and just, and it's freedom too. That's the big thing for me with making games fast. I hate being trapped in one project forever. If I can you know, like make a game in 6 months and be fully done with it, it's so freeing for me that I get to just immediately move to another project. It's pretty cool. So anyways, so I guess this update's ready to go. I hope there's not any bugs, any little buggy boys, but you know, we fixed a lot of bugs, so it's probably more stable. I imagine. Hopefully. Close out of menus, clicking on the right. Okay. Wonder if I should make the field reports like more expensive. I'm not really sure yet. Something that I kind of have to like figure out. But yeah, I guess we're gonna export the game. I'm gonna do one last little look through my GitHub changes and just make sure that it's not I didn't break anything. But as far as I can tell, everything seems to be working just fine. So as a parent with a job, I need my jams to be either longer so I don't feel pressured to neglect my kids, or super short so I can convince my wife to cover during the entire jam. Yeah, that's kind of exactly like, yeah, I totally feel that. I luckily don't have like any dependents, so normally I just opt for the shorter jam because like the thing that I do need is just my time to develop my actual games, you know? So, but I absolutely feel that for sure. Like it's either long enough to where it's not such a rush, or short enough to where it's like you don't have to, it's not such a massive commitment, you know? So I completely understand that 100%. Yeah, for me, it's just like hard to do like really long game jams. I did one time that was like 1 month long, and it was just like, I don't know. I think it's just the team I was working with, like, no disrespect to them and stuff, of course, but it was difficult getting anybody to help me. And so it was basically just doing a solo jam that was supposed to be like a 5-person team. So it was hard. Mic is lowered in volume. I hope it doesn't keep like happening faster, the weird timeout thing. It's a little frustrating. Mine's always just for funniest and my pressure very different. Yeah. Oh, I feel it. Just going through and make sure everything is looking normal. I'm just checking for like anything I might have accidentally like commented out or something, or just some weird, you know, weird thing I might have done. And so far, not really seeing anything. That's the big script. Minigame active. Just setting up all the Stormy stuff. I mean, that stuff has already been like tested for everybody, so it's probably not a problem. I implemented that hidden thing. That's going to be important later on when I do demo specific updates and stuff like that. Water bubbles. Fix that issue where people could lag and buy more upgrades. That was always kind of funny. Fix the key there. Tank cursor stuff. Fix the decoration rotation business. Playtest prompt. I fixed all that business. Added some new options. Minigame. That's the color background stuff. Yeah, the KeepNet seems to be pretty stable now. I will test that just a tiny bit more and make sure, but hopefully it's fine. So the inventory stuff, I think that's good. Fish tank code. There's the notification stuff. Exit button got changed. I will do another check on controller super quick, just to make sure that everything is still working for controller. Theoretically, the stuff I did, it shouldn't have any effect on controller, but, you know, I want to make sure. Also, we do have a new track, I think, to add into the game. Maybe? Actually, I don't think I got sent that track yet, so... I don't think it was tomorrow. I think I already have tomorrow. So, I have not gotten the new track yet. That's fine. I will get it eventually. Alright. So let's run up controller. My Bluetooth has been broken, so I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to do it wirelessly. Oh, it worked this time. Okay, cool. Just kind of going through menus, making sure everything is normal here. Looks like it's good. Credits are here. Can't scroll on the credits. That is something that like I'm aware of with controller. Controller is like something I'll be tackling a lot more for full release because I want to get the game verified for Steam Deck. So, but otherwise, most of the critical stuff works just fine. Yeah. Stuff's all working just fine. Shows the catch rates. You can scroll down through the menu. Scroll back up. Notifications are good. The thing I really want to check is like the auto closing stuff. So it shouldn't cause any problems, but I just want to make sure there isn't like some weird stuff that happens here, right? Like I can still feed them. I can clean the tank. A little bit harder to clean on controller, but kind of fun on controller though, because it's like you got like the analog, so you can like be really precise. It's almost like it has like momentum. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. All right, that still works just fine. I can select my fishies, turn them to the inventory, navigate all these menus. Oh. Issue spotted. This is why I test. Let's go into the tank menu, and I believe it's just a really easy fix. I think it's just that the scroll container of the decorations doesn't follow the focus. So what I need to say is this and say follow focus. And I believe that should fix it. There we go. Looking good. Let me go write that down. Where focus of your decorations was not followed on controller. Okay, so this is all good. Travel menu following. Yep. I know it's a little bit quirky on those menus. I do have a fix for that eventually, but you know, just not right now. I need to get this update out, and I'm tired, and I'm done. Sure I can move stuff. I want to make sure I can move fish into tanks. That looks pretty good. Very cool. Do all that stuff. All right. Let's go make sure the fishing mechanics is working fine. I don't see why it'd be broken, but you know, just want to make sure. I can still like open stuff at the same time. So what if I do that and then, yeah, seems to be working. Okay, I'll wait for a fish. I do like the vibration on the controller minigame stuff. It's kind of epic. I need to play the game more on my Steam Deck and like really test that out and stuff. I mean, if it's working on regular controller, like I don't see why it wouldn't work on Steam Deck. Everything should be the same, but yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's a man. It's just like one little thing I gotta change to fix the whole issue. You know, it's always like that. I can release fish just fine. The weight replicates properly. All right. I think pretty much that's everything I can think of that I need to test right now. All the options should be working. I can click out of my menus. I can right click to get out of them. I can move my fish around without like accidentally closing the menu and stuff. Right, I can go boom, boom, boom. Seems good to me. I made the research tree a little more zoomed in by default because it was like really crazy how far out it was zoomed. Did I add that in here? I don't think I did. Increase the default zoom level of the search menu. That is something I want to check really quick actually, is the Ascension menu also still zoomed out? Yep. So I need to go into Ascension menu, edit the default zoom level of the camera to 2, and now we're good. All right, let's go update our translations. I doubt people have had time to do the brand new ones I just put in, but you know, it's okay. I don't expect people to. We can see like what's 100% translated and stuff. So Ukrainian is close, but nothing's 100% right now. We got all the languages in here. Fish. Some of these down here that are very untranslated. It's okay. All right, so we need to download the translation files. And also we need to download, it's like an insights. We want to do translation reports, a JSON of all of our contributors this year, generate. And I love making 5,000 emails. Let's save this as credits to JSON, replace. Then I've got all the new zips. So, let's see, translations, locales. So I have this like folder that I convert all of these into one big sheet in. So I'm gonna delete all those. And we've got translations, CSV, delete that. Then I drag all of our files in here. Boom. And then I just run format. It generates a CSV file for me right here. And we just drop it into the game. That's all the updated translations. So I'm going to delete all of those. Delete. Boom. And put the new one in. Sometimes it takes a minute. Sometimes, okay, there we go. And then I don't know if I need to. I think I only have to do that if I add in a new language, but I always go in here to the localization tab, and there's all these like translations here. So I always delete all of them and just set the new files. I believe that I don't need to do it, but I really don't want to accidentally have a case where I did actually need to, and now the game is corrupted. So load all those in. And then let's go test out all the stuff and just make sure it works for the translations and the user credits. We should be good to go. So let's check. Yeah, we have some stuff at 99%, which is good. I think I added Korean recently, and that seems to be formatting properly with the font. Malay, unfortunately, is very untranslated. One of these days, I might potentially remove languages if they stay completely untranslated for a really long time. I don't want to have to do that, you know, because it's kind of sucks, but I'll do what must be done. Let's also check the credits. Just make sure everybody's in here. Yep. Cool. All right. I think we're good to go. I'll have everyone test out this version just to make sure that there's no major issues tonight, hopefully. Let's also call this version 4.4. Let's go get our old, add some debuggers. Oh yeah, it's just that. I don't know why that always throws an error. Whenever I change a language, it throws that, and I still don't know what it means. But whatever. Put it into game builds. Zip create. Export. Alrighty. Export all. Release mode. And then we can go start uploading all of our project files. I've been using the Steam Pipe GUI for that, and it works pretty well. I probably could like set up some kind of like automated script that just does all three versions of it really easily, but it's fine. We're gonna get ads. Here, let me just start the ads now so we don't have them when we're ending stream. Ads now. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. All right, so those are all exported. Ooh, processing. All right. So we want to update. And then I also have the web version. I don't know if I'm going to continue updating the web version or not after the full launch on Steam or anything, but we'll see. I have to be careful which one I'm doing. Okay. It's these three. This one first. I have to update the version. 4.4. Then all our files should be in there already. Upload that. And that'll go through. That needs to update. And come on, go. Boom. So that one's done. Success. That was regular alert in. Time for the demo version. Or upload. And then time for the playtest. Just gotta wait. Okay, success and playtest version. It's kind of annoying to have all these different versions, but it's okay. Eventually, there will only be two. The playtest will go away on full launch, so. Hey, thank you for the cheese time, Nick. I appreciate it. All right, we are updated, guys. Let's go in all these, and I have to go like apply it. I have to go into like builds and set it as the live branch. So default. And it's gonna send me a text probably. It's gonna be like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" Okay, it doesn't happen on this one because it's not released yet, but for the demo and playtest, I believe it does. And I also always like actually like publish the changes here. I don't know if I need to do that. I'm gonna be real. But I feel like if I'm editing the branch in here, I probably do need to do that, so I don't know. Three, 1, 3, 3, 9. That one's live. Go prepare for publishing. Leave for another cheese time. And then the last one. Then we'll end stream. But I finally got the update out, guys. It's crazy. I bet you guys never expected I would actually do it. 72522. Always cheese time around these parts. Oops, don't do that. Okay, guys. Test the new version. Let me know if it's stable. And then let's go post an announcement. Post a message. A small update. 4.4.0 released. Live research fixes before next fest. I'll capitalize next fest because it's like a professional announcement, you know. Default build. All right. This is a small update, I'll just say. Oh, stop. Okay. Alertin has been updated. I've gone back through and cleaned up some stuff ahead of next fest. Includes some new research for the Wikipedia and your tanks, as well as lots of fixes and rebalancing of systems. That's basically everything in here. Also the ability to exit out of a menu by clicking on the side. We know if you have any issues over on the Steam forums, on Discord. To see you guys during Next Fest tomorrow. All right. Let's put the full change log down. Sometimes I wish they made the formatting here a little bit easier. See, they always do this. I don't know why they do this. It's like, have to like, unbullet point it. It's annoying. I have to turn into a bullet point, unbullet point, and then make it a thing. It's a little stupid. All right. Have a great one, friend. Thank you, yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna end in just 1 second. Cool. Let's... How come I can only preview? Can you... Oh, I have to go to the Publish tab, duh. Publish. Let's go post the announcement on Discord. Alert in updates. At LI 0.4.4.0 is here. This is the last update before our next fest starts tomorrow. Includes some more quality of life, look out of menus, plus more fixes and some new research thrown in. After this point, the demo will now no longer receive any more new content updates. All new content will be applied to the main and playtest versions of the game. We know if you run into any issues so that I can get them fixed for Next Fest tomorrow morning. Thanks, gamers. Boom. Publish it. Boom. We're done. I hope the game works and isn't going to die. Because that would suck. Alright. Well, anyways, guys. That's going to be it for today's stream. We set out to do what we wanted to do, and we did it. We succeeded. I released the update. So yeah, we're gonna go find somebody to raid now. Now, who do we like to raid? I wish my follow channels would actually show everybody I'm following. It seems like it doesn't ever do that, which is a little frustrating. Yeah, who do we want to raid? Let's go see who's in our group. Any new people? Is this guy Griffinblade 77? I don't think I've ever raided them before, so we could potentially pop in there and see what's going on. Every once in a while, I like to raid somebody brand new, you know, to expand our horizons a little bit. They're doing art, so we're just gonna wait for their ads to end so I can make sure they're like chill and stuff. Oh yeah, they're doing like some crazy stuff. Are you speaking English?
How do I handle this in the other?
Yes, they are. Okay, we're gonna go raid them. Okay, well, thank you, gamers, for coming in. I appreciate it. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today's stream. We'll be live again on Wednesday during Next Fest. It's crazy. I'll still be here, like, ready for any patches in case something goes wrong during Next Fest. But, you know, we've put a lot of work into fixing bugs with LurtIn and getting them done quick and early. So I'm really hoping that it's going to be pretty stable for everybody. The only bugs I've ever seen people complain about are, like, super minor issues that, like, don't matter at all. I've never had anyone come to me and it's like, my save has been corrupted or something like that. So it's a good sign, at least. Yeah, we'll be live again Wednesday, 3:30 MDT. Feel free to join the Discord. Play the demo tomorrow on Next Fest and leave a review if you want. Wishlist LurtIn, grab Starground on Steam. Also, we might be at 10,000 wishlists now. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna hit it in time. I think we're extremely close. But you know what? We're close enough. I'll say that we succeeded in our goal of 10,000 wishlists before Next Fest. Because we're like right there. We're at 9,926. We're only 80 wish lists away from 10,000. So that's crazy. That's really cool. Anyways, we're rating 5 seconds. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.